Welcome to our reality, everyone. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are because tonight we have a lot of Big Brother 26 to catch up on. We didn't do a podcast last week, and by golly, we had another blindside. We had more drama, more chaos. Why did we think for a second that this season would stop being the most interesting season that we have seen in quite some time? Because not only did we have another blindside, we had two players go out of this game that I did not expect to go back to back at this point. We had an OTEV that was historic for all of the wrong reasons. We had Julie not even show up last Thursday night. And this week we have an entire janky fest in the backyard to go over where everyone is slowly losing their minds. And I'm talking about feedsters and the house guests. So we have a lot to catch up on. We may not be able to cover every little detail that we have missed over the past 2 weeks, but we're going to try our very best to discuss amongst ourselves and here in the live chat what's been going on in Big Brother 26 as we are now in the jury phase of the game. So welcome everyone. We are live here on YouTube. If you are just joining us for the first time, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a ton. And if you want to find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun stuff, you can do so as well later on. But right now, we're going to really start getting into it. My name is Barrett, and if you're joining us for the very first time, also with me is my Big Brother 25 crew, really, tonight, without the lovely Roxy Hotman, but we do have the Zach Perez and Nick City. Nick, you threw me off because you didn't have your Twitter handle.
I just realized it myself, actually.
I was about to say the Nick City, and I'm like, isn't? Because now I don't see the. So I didn't know we were dropping it. I didn't know. It's okay. Still very much the Nick City. Don't worry, everyone. We can calm down. Everyone's just blowing up the chat already. But y'all, welcome. I'm so glad you're here to catch up on Big Brother 26 with me, because otherwise this would be way too tall of a task. And even then, it may still be too tall of a task. But Zach, I'm gonna come to you first just to get this conversation rolling, because we just got to get into it. Joseph and Quinn were the two evicted house guests in our time off that we saw go out the door. Two people that would have claimed they maybe have been bigger masterminds in this season than maybe they really were. And with Quinn, probably a little bit sadder of an ending in a resume to his Big Brother career than he would have liked to have been by the time he headed out the door. So I just want you to quickly go over just general thoughts of these last couple of weeks, but maybe more specifically about Joseph and Quinn being gone from this game and how that affects the house really as we stand today.
Well, Joseph, I mean, the last podcast, people were claiming that, the final speeches never affect any outcome whatsoever. But what do we have here? A last minute speech. The one vote that he really needed was what happened and caused him to go out the door. Mackenzie was changed by Chemo's speech and caused her to vote Joseph out the door and sent him packing pre-jury. So you can mark it. Jameson, mark it. Zach was right again. It does affect things. Joseph, I mean, I would have loved to see him go farther, but I haven't watched any of his exit interviews or anything, so maybe it was his person. I believe that it's just his personality. I don't think that he thinks that truly he was the mastermind of everything. Maybe it's just it's just oh yeah, I'm the mastermind. I don't know. Okay, well, he at least he gets to hang out with Tucker, and have a good time that way. Joseph, I mean, you shouldn't have talked to Angela like that. That Angela's karma is real. We've heard of Taylor's karma. Well, Angela's karma is taking over this season.
Arguably stronger.
Yeah, because the next person, Quinn, oh my gosh. At least he got to meet his favorite movie actor of all time, of his favorite movie, Kangaroo Jack. He just loves that movie. If you see his letterbox, that's his number one movie, I believe, or top movies of all time. So he got to meet Jerry O'Connell. At least he can say that. On the other hand, wow. Not only did he have one bad HOH week, but two. And 2 allies went. Both of his allies went in those 2 weeks. I don't know how worse it could get for one individual. I can't remember who's had a worse. There have been bad HOHs, but at least in the next HOH, people learn from that if they win another one. But I can't recall a person having 2 bad HOHs. At least one of them was decent, not like the worst thing that could have happened. But man, Quinn, at least you'll be known for that. You got you're remembered for something. But I don't know about Sad. I'm glad he's out. Super fan. Very cringy last minute speech, but mentioning DJ Showtime is definitely a choice. I don't know why, but
Okay. Well, the legacy of Joseph and Quinn will live in Big Brother history forever, whether good or bad reasons. Joseph's exit interviews have felt very vindictive, I think, if anything, since he's out of the house. And I know he's had a lot of comments of like, well, I would have been in jury if this was a normal season. It's like, okay. Okay, Joseph.
Oh my God.
But then, yeah, with Quinn, I think we'll more so look at Quinn as like a positive to this season. I think he did bring a lot entertainment wise to these house guests, maybe not to myself. But I'm hard pressed to not enjoy a super fan in them genuinely enjoying the game for the sake of being in the game. And I felt like that was Quinn's biggest positive quality, and a lot of what he was able to pitch to those house guests. And we saw Chelsea really kind of hone in on that and be like, I know you're a fan of the game, and it really hurts me to vote you out in a show that you've been wanting to be on since you were in elementary school. So I think Quinn has a lot of positives from that side in terms of being a fan of the game. I think we'll see him on a lot of media coverage of Big Brother in future seasons because of that. And
well, yeah, okay. He has said it all the time on the live feeds.
I don't know if he'll get his own deep dive, but we'll see.
What's up? Other podcasts we won't mention, but you should have me on there. Oh, here's my clip. Oh, I'm so wacky. Oh, I watch the morning updates all the time.
Nick, I'm going to come to you now because to get out of that.
Yeah.
But Nick, I'm going to give you the chance to also talk about these past couple weeks in the game because they have been extra chaotic, and I want to get your take on a little bit of this, especially when Zach, before we even went live, said in regards to Chemo's speech that swayed Mackenzie that she was somehow easily persuadable, coming after your fandom a little bit there. I just want to know your take on the past couple of weeks, and also please argue with Zach a little bit since Roxy's not here to do it.
That is true, and he's starting already, so you know what, I should. First of all, it was TV. I don't care. Mackenzie's vote to evict was the most dramatic thing we've ever seen ever, and I was so here for it. What is happening? Stop that.
Julie,
you know who did?
I vote to evict Joseph. Thank you, Julie. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Hi, brother. Hi, sister. Oh, my God. I love you. Oh, my God. Bye.
Nick didn't interrupt you at all during your answer, Zach, when he could have.
Thank you.
Continue, Nick.
Anyways, do I think it was the smartest thing in the world to do? No. Was I upset with her? No, because I quite frankly didn't really like Joseph, so I was kind of okay with that. And I'd much rather Chemo on the jury than Joseph, because while they're both not really doing much, I feel like Chemo at least has done something. So I was kind of okay with Joseph being pre-jury, despite him saying that he wanted to play a normal season of Big Brother, whatever that means, because this season has been pretty damn normal. It's been old school, honestly. So you're sitting here, you're saying you want to play normal Big Brother. Maybe he wants to play like Big Brother 21 type shit. I don't know, but not this. Anyways, very much happy with that. Then we go into last week where Quinn left, and I was quite frankly over Quinn myself. The yelling, the screaming, the theatrics, like goodbye.
Did you like him begging for votes though? Did you like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Votes.
Never mind. I didn't either.
Spare votes, please.
I thought he was just extra, and it's like you could be extra, but like I don't know. I was over it at this point, I guess. And Mackenzie, winning the veto on one question. I was so proud of her. Oh my God. So you may sit here, Zach, and call her stupid or whatever the hell you want to say, all you
I didn't say
want.
she was. I
But
didn't say
she was the
I-
one person in the entire cast to get that question correct.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I didn't say that she was stupid. I said that she was easy manipulated or emotionally manipulated.
She's caught up on the game, though. If there's anything that Mackenzie can get right, it's asking her a question about 2 months ago in an OTEV competition. And that's what she excels in, is old
Exactly.
information, okay?
She's like
So,
Firefox. It just
We
gives
shouldn't
her
be shocked.
it just gives her a little time. Just give her a little bit of time and she gets caught up.
And she did. And she did.
lot.
And she made history doing it. And I got to say, I know we're going to talk about OTEV later. I know we're still talking about Joseph and Quinn mainly, but Angela's scream at getting the wrong answer when she got to the top of that platform at first, one of the greatest things that could have happened. I think arguably the second greatest thing that's happened in OTEV history behind all of them getting the question wrong is Angela being so excited to get the question wrong. Anyway, I found the clip of Mackenzie. And we'll
Please,
just relive
let's
this one
enjoy.
more time.
I sadly vote to evict Joseph.
No, keep on going. Keep on going.
That has one more second, Zach. It doesn't get to the shout outs.
Family,
Yeah, I let's go back to this little speech by Chemo, because it is the first time that I have ever heard someone say that they were persuaded in a speech and a live eviction. And I think it is a credit to Chemo for having such a great speech, but it's also such a slap in the face to Joseph in the episode, the way that they edited it, for Chelsea and Mackenzie to be there in the DR. Like, and I wanted to keep Joseph, but I mean, like, it was Joseph and then Chemo, and I'd rather just see Chemo. It's like, man, they really voted Joseph out just for being Joseph live on national television in the moment. And that's
Yeah.
what we live for. And we got another great Quinn reaction face because of it. And honestly, I think another part of my joy this season is not only seeing Angela in all of her moments, but also just seeing Quinn having the worst time consistently just throughout this game. And I loved that moment so much that I said, you know, I could use a thumbnail from like a current week, or just like them in the backyard. But no, I really wanted to include Quinn's face at finding out that Joseph got evicted. And he went 2 for 2 in his HOH reigns for getting his allies evicted from the game of Big Brother when he had plenty of options to put people on the block, but chose not to. As a super fan of this game, I feel like I can call myself that. I think I've earned that right. Maybe a little bit. But like, as from one super fan to the other, Quinn, and I don't have a cutout of Zingbot in my room, so maybe I'm speaking from a lesser of the super fandom here, but just don't put your allies on the block. It seems like the easiest way out of it. And the fact that he messed that up 2 different times and got blindsided, like he was even shocked the second time that it happened. He should have been like, yeah, I really should have. I don't know why I thought for a second that this wasn't going to happen. But at the same time, the votes, these vote counts that we are getting this season, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but just from the 2 that we've had in the past 2 weeks, 4-3 and 4-2, are things that I am not used to in this jury phase of the game. And I don't think that's recency bias in saying that. But still seeing these flipped votes, still seeing these blindsides, still seeing these people utterly shocked at what is happening in the game 2 months in is so much fun to me. And with that, it has completely been torn to shreds this week now that they're in the backyard.
Before we move on from that night, Angela's eviction vote, also hella iconic. We haven't even discussed that yet. I mean, her going in the DR, literally crying, being like, I wanted to keep you, but the numbers aren't there. And the numbers were there.
Hello, Angela.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast
You
your
can hear
vote.
this, first of all, you can hear the crowd laughing immediately at this.
Hello, Angela.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I'm sorry, Chemo. I don't have the numbers to keep you. My vote is to evict Chemo.
And she had the numbers.
They were there.
They were there. She is also, yeah, Angela, if we're talking about these past 2 weeks, we could talk about Joseph and Quinn all we want, but like Quiff, yeah, he quiffed on the season, really. But like, we can talk about Joseph and Quinn all we want, but Angela also messed up her vote both times. Like, she consistently finds her way to just not be on the right side of this, specifically when it comes to chemo, apparently. And I loved that immediately she had to like explain herself last week to chemo, and chemo had to be like, Angela, I don't care. Like, which is funny because the other way around, when chemo had to tell Angela that he voted her out, Angela was like distraught, and the kitchen table just like and trying to pull out the tears. But the other way around, it's like, why don't you believe me? And so she did that last week with the Joseph vote, and then this week with the Quinn vote. Immediately, everyone's on the couch listening to Angela explain herself, just like, I just want to be told. And they're like, oh my God, Angela, stop. We don't care. But I could not live without Angela in this game, and I'm so glad she's here. And if she accidentally wins this season, weirdly enough, I would not be that upset. But she's not going to. She's not going to. And I got to be careful with what I say in regards to that, because I picked a
right. She's not.
Yeah. Because like, just in case anyone's aware, there's a solid curse of me picking winners of this game, and it continues. And them getting immediately evicted. It happened with Amira, it happened with Heisem, it happened with Cedric, and it happened again with Quinn in my winner pick 2 weeks ago.
Which
so
is like such a bad pick, Barrett. Like, come on.
Well, that one was on purpose. Okay, I knew I had to really test the waters here. So
didn't it happen with Sarah Beth too?
I don't know. I had to go back and look and see if I did that. I don't remember ever picking Sarah Beth as a winner.
That sounds awful.
I don't know if it was you. There was someone during that time whenever I was watching that was like a big Sarah Beth stan that just loved her.
I thought, Nick, you were a Sarah Beth stan at one point.
I liked Sarah Beth, yeah, but I didn't think she was gonna win with that alliance.
Maybe Christian. Maybe Bear was a Christian fan. You know, curly hair.
I was an Alyssa girly.
Yes, we know, because we didn't really see her much.
Guys, we have a good season that's on right now. So if we get not that 23,
exactly.
that's shade to 23. I'm sorry, 23 is good. Zach, focus your camera. What is going on?
I don't know. It's
because he's talking crap already.
Yeah, that's right. Your technology doesn't even want you to have a good platform. I'm going to look at the chat right now because we don't have Roxy, and Roxy is always better at scanning the chat than I am. She's always ready. Skylar asked who I am standing. To be honest, I don't know if I can. I mean, maybe Angela, if anybody, but it's not like for the reasons that I should be standing a Big Brother player, but more an entertainment factor. So I think everyone's still playing a pretty bad game, to be completely honest with you. And so right now it's easier for me to pick someone that's not in the two trios. Not that I am any less upset with Angela and Leah, who are completely in control this week for not doing anything with their power. So I would say Angela, but more from an entertainment perspective of like, how far can she go actually before someone takes her out? Like, how many times can she be taken off the block? That should have been one of my questions to y'all. Is Angela the cockroach? Is she Mike Myers? Or is she the greatest player of all time? Because those were three things that she was called in Thursday night's episode. So which one is she?
All three.
This goes to everybody. Chat. Is cockroach Mike Myers best player of all time, or a new attribute that we should give to Angela?
I mean, there's something that Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I appreciate the cockroach strategy. I feel like it's a thing. I see it more in Survivor, I feel like, than Big Brother. But like that person that's just like, how the hell are they still in the damn game? And it's like, that's Angela. And I love it. I feel like it's very rare for that archetype to make it this deep on Big Brother, I guess, unless they're like completely not doing anything. Angela is like fighting people and like arguing since the beginning of the game, and she's all the way in the final 7 now, has been on the block like 100 times, it feels like, has been taken off the block 100 times, and you're sitting here still and you're like, how, like, what is going on? How is she still in the house? Like, and I love it.
Yeah, I think there has to be some credit given, because I mean, every week it's like, let's just get Angela out because it's the easy thing to do and we have the votes to get her out. Then they don't have the votes, and then they're like, "Wait, let's go with someone else." And then well, I'm comfortable with putting or using the veto on Angela because then she'll trust me, and I know that we can go far together. And she always gets the veto used 3 times. I cannot think of someone who has the veto used on them 3 times
I
by
think she broke
someone
the
else.
record.
Yeah.
I think 3
Like-
times ties it.
Oh.
I think she needs one more. I can't remember who she tied though, so that may just be me
I'm gonna look it
speaking a
up.
stat into thin
I
air.
was gonna say-
Yeah.
Was it
I'm gonna
Jackson?
fact check it.
Maybe no, not Jackson. Maybe it was like trying to
Nick's gonna be our fact checker on this one. So
yeah.
we got Nick's our stats guy right now.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
it says-
Danielle or Dick.
It says that she is the first to be vetoed off the block by someone else 3 times.
Oh, first one. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that
She's-
stat was including how many times you've just been taken off in general, like if you won the veto while on the block.
Oh. Well, then
there was like a bunch of people. There was 9 people that got taken off twice. She was the first person to do
Gotcha.
it 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for Angela.
Make
That's
it-
quite
make
a
it- make
stat.
making history. Quinn could never.
No, I could see
Good.
Quinn weirdly like arguing for Angela to win the game if someone really unlikable is next to her in a final 2 scenario, or like not even unlikable. I feel like everyone likes each other to a good degree at this point, but maybe like Chemo, if Chemo doesn't really do much up until the finale, like an Angela and Chemo scenario, I could see Quinn being like, but Angela though was pretty crazy from the beginning and she made it all the way to the end.
I feel like he'd be bitter as hell because he'd be like, Angela, of all people, made it farther than me?
I
Why
don't
is
know.
that voice
Super
really accurate? I hate it.
I guess it depends on how much
It's really triggered.
yeah, he's back. I really do wonder though what kind of juror Quinn will be, because we do see those first jurors really take on that role of like facilitating a lot of that conversation. So
And he
I
got
wonder-
blindsided.
He did get blindsided. But it was not due to Angela, really. I mean, Angela's been shocked by every vote count we've had this season somehow. Like, I don't know how she has somehow found her way into the wrong side of every single one, pretty much, minus maybe like 1 or 2. But
That
it seems
also is
like
something that also is something that she can like put her hat on or tip her cap on, is like, I voted to keep you, but the house didn't want that.
yeah. I went against the grain every single second that I was in this house. I mean, weirdly true. Even my closest allies were my worst enemies 5 seconds later. Okay. Going back to other Angela comments, what are we saying in the chat right now? Skylar says, greatest player of all time. Dan Kiesling vibes, maybe a bit of Derek too. How dare you? But I'll
Exactly.
take the energy at least. So we've also got another Angela Giesling from Yamama. And
Angela Muppa.
another Angela Giesling from Juan. We got a lot of Angela love. Sandra says such a
As they
queen.
should.
Yeah,
Being out of the
as
loop
they
all
should.
the time. Being out of the loop, but also the main character in every given scenario.
Right.
Is Angela.
That's the difference. Angela's not just like sitting there not doing anything.
Mhm.
Angela's like actively like arguing with people and causing crap.
Right. Oh, an interesting comparison to Amanda from season 15. Amanda Zuckerman, Angela comparison. A lot of differences. Calling Amanda insult spewing delusional demented mess. I feel like Amanda was like
was not
legitimately like
delusional.
personal attacks that like were
Yeah.
a little too
Yeah.
real at times, whereas Angela is just
And-
calling Lisa a twit and like rolling with that.
And
And
Crazy
calling
eyes.
the jock crazy eyes, which like
Crazy eyes.
yeah, like so ridiculous in her insults that it's like how do you take them seriously? Whereas Amanda was like, I'm gonna try to hurt your soul, and it was kind of gross at times.
yeah. Also, like Amanda was, I don't think Amanda was delusional at all. I feel like she had pretty good game reads overall. Like, the only thing that she was delusional about is not thinking that people wouldn't target her and McCrae.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and Angela's also not into showmance. I know that's not what you were comparing there, Theo.
what about
also not
she?
a
She is with
grandmother.
Benny.
With Benny, yeah. Benny's
She's also
still in
not-
the house.
She's also not related to Zach Rance or Tucker.
Oh yeah, true. I forgot about. Oh man, you say stuff sometimes that really like digs a part of my brain that I haven't thought about
Me
in a year,
too.
like 10,
Me
10
too.
years, I guess. But interesting comparison there. Yeah, Angela's fun. I'm standing Angela. I don't know if I could put it on like a lower third here on StreamYard yet, but just know that if I had to pick a fandom, it's with Angela purely out of the mess, and that's and I'm fine with that.
Well, who's your winner pick though?
I can't.
Stop.
Well, we're gonna save that to the end, right? When we talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
our draft
Yeah.
results again.
And you
Yeah,
better
I
be
feel
careful with it, Barrett.
I really just said that just now so I could think about what I'm gonna say later. Give myself a little bit of time. Okay, so do we want to talk any more about Joseph and his eviction? Because immediately following that, we see a Chelsea HOH through a Q&A comp. We had the return of Lisa, who in the mix of a bunch of LA actors were at a Ring doorbell given messages and stuff. But Chelsea came out the winner. We saw not quite a Bowie Jane Felicia-esque tiebreaker question to give us a Chelsea HOH. But we have Chelsea as the HOH nonetheless. We saw Chemo and Rubina go up on the block. And then we see a Leah. Wait, no, not Leah. Mackenzie, a veto Mackenzie and Leah, like, starting to win competitions is making this harder on my brain to keep track of all these vetoes, especially now that we have 2 vetoes this week. And also the fact that like Angela has won, like, what is it? Is she just won 3 competitions, 4 competitions? How many competitions has Angela won?
She's won 2 HOHs and 1 veto.
1 veto, yeah, 3.
Wow. Go Angela. I forget that she has won 2 HOHs a lot of times until she says it pretty much every HOH comp because she, for some reason, has to say that every single time.
Hey, she would have won this one, but she wanted to be very selfless and give other people a chance. So
Exactly.
Angela, comp beast,
Yeah, she
coming for Jag's record.
exactly. And then yeah, the endurance HOH comp that we just saw Leah win. She had that great moment where she was like, and I just want everyone to know, if you promise me safety, I'll drop right now. But like, I need safety. Like, I'm not messing around. Like, I don't even want to be on the block. Which everyone's like, what? You're just like 5 people left, Angela. Like, we're not even halfway through. But I love the attempt at the same time. But we saw Quinn go home last week after we saw Mackenzie use the veto on Angela. It was a move that we did not necessarily see coming until really the night before, when Mackenzie and Chelsea were like, I guess we could do this. So I want to ask you all now, going back to Quinn a little bit more deeply, from the other house guest perspective, is getting rid of Quinn on Chelsea's HOH, was that the right move, or should they have just stuck with the route of splitting up the trio of T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo, even though Chelsea was necessarily going to evict T-Core last week, but at least getting rid of Chemo or Rubina?
I mean,
First of all, say hello to Big Sissy.
Hi, Big Sissy Banana. Can I call you Big Sissy? Welcome to the chat.
Second of all,
Also, Eddie,
yes.
we are going to get to Cam and Mackenzie. Nick, I'm so sorry. Continue.
No, it's okay, because I do want to talk about that too. But second of all, yes, I think it was smart to go after Quinn. And my reasoning is, sure, T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina are a trio, and that's 3 people. But what are they winning? Nothing.
You are
they won
right.
They won Tucker's heart.
Okay, and he's
Well,
pre-jury.
So Chemo has 1 AI Arena win,
Hey,
if I
calm down,
remember
that's your friend.
correctly. Rubina has 1 AI
right.
Arena win, if I
Yes.
remember correctly, and then T-Core has an HOH.
1 HOH.
And
Okay,
has
so
never
they
been
each
on the
have
block.
1 win. Quinn had
So they're winning something.
1 thing each. Let's relax. Angela has more comp wins than them. But what I'm trying to say is that I just feel like the 3 of them kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like they just like follow each other around. And like, I feel like they're not like a threat, in my opinion, because the 3 of them, I'll say this, I think Rubina and Chemo follow T-Core. And so I think T-Core is like the head of that trio. And maybe Chelsea should have gone after T-Core. Sure, I don't know, but I feel like the Quinn move was the smart thing because Quinn is also close with Leah, who is not a part of Chelsea's like grand scheme of things. So I feel like it's weakening Leah, while keeping a trio that's kind of not really doing anything, in my opinion. So that's
Yeah,
why I'm
I
like, I don't
also
understand like the big threat with them. To me, it's just because it's 3 of them, which I get, but at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like they haven't done anything.
Right.
Like,
I will yeah, I will say it was good for Chelsea's game because
yes,
whenever she was debating this, in my head I'm just thinking she was thinking about who she could trust more. Quinn or who was up next against Quinn? Who was it?
Chemo.
Yeah, Quinn or Chemo. Quinn literally is the reason the Pentagon is now a triangle. Literally, he is a rat, a rat, a rat. Get him out because he is going to rat you again
right,
like he did before. Why are you even second guessing yourself?
exactly.
Girl, like even if it's for theatrics, quit talking about scenarios. This boy is literally the reason why you're having to restructure your game. Yes, Quinn was the best optimal move for her.
I agree
Okay.
with Zach for once.
No, that's
I want to say, I want to say, Zandra's comment I really like that. The one about that one.
oh
I
yes.
completely agree.
Yeah, Xandra says T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo have numbers, but seem more interested in friendship over the game. Ugh, friendship. I don't like that word anymore. The other trio of Cam, Chelsea, and Mackenzie actually have at least some strategy and are more dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's-
T-Core,
I agree.
Rubina, and Chemo, especially Rubina lately, which has been disappointing, has been very, I'm all about everyone else besides me. And it's been really, especially after Tucker's departure and her having a really great moment during Quinn's pitch to stay, being like, oh, because Quinn was like, if you're not, Tucker really values honesty. So I would love if you just like told me like what you were thinking for your vote. And Rubina was like, oh yeah, I guess everything I do is just in proxy to Tucker in this game. And I only do everything for Tucker. Right, Quinn? And I really liked that moment. And she's gone from that to being like, but T-Core and Chemo represent something way more than I could. And also me being here represents something even bigger. And like not playing the game, like she's more so thinking about it from that perspective. And I'm like, you can do both. Like you can do both. I promise you. And it's really sad, especially after the amount of times that we've watched T-Core and Chemo just sit there and exhaustingly just discuss and don't do anything and not speak up and just wait for the bad thing to happen to them in order to, like, the fact that they evicted Cedric is a miracle to me. The fact that even happened. Because like the amount of times that they just sit on their hands, and T-Core, I don't feel like values Chemo in a way that a bunch of people wish that she did. I mean, a lot of people have compared that moment of her rubbing the bird poop on him being like a really good metaphor for how she values him in this game. And like it's in a large way, it is true. So like I applaud whoever really first made that comparison because it makes real game translations. But
It does.
yeah, Xandra, I also agree. That was a really good point.
I feel like this week specifically, I know we're not there yet, but this week specifically, we're seeing a lot of that, them just like, okay. And it's like, what? Like, but they'll talk to each other. Okay, so go to Leah. Hello. Like, it's like, what are you doing? I don't get it. It's like they have the tools, but they don't want to use them. They're just like,
yeah.
Nah.
Especially
why don't they just pick her up? Only person she really has is Mackenzie. I mean, Cam a little bit more now too, but like Leah really doesn't have a group.
Never has.
And why don't you rope her in and be like, but T-Core is literally up Chelsea's ass so far. Like all she smells is Chelsea being her friend the whole time, which I don't understand. That's just a compliment to
really
Chelsea's
hardcore.
game. I'm just saying, T-Core is literally No, I have to keep Chelsea safe. Chelsea is my girl, or however she. I don't know. It's British mixed with
Please don't do
Chicago.
accents.
What's that accent?
I don't
Please don't.
know. But literally, I just don't understand. It's frustrating to me how Takor is with Chelsea. Just because Chelsea's so good at playing not at playing friends with everyone and being good with everyone, it's just like, girl, it's frustrating to me. Why they don't do something, be proactive, like.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. The biggest frustration with especially T-Core, because if you're going to go for the mastermind out of T-Core, Rubina and Chemo, people will typically point towards T-Core. And so you can usually have most of that frustration with T-Core. Oh, you got one good vote on T-Core's British accent there, Zach. Congrats. But yeah, when you're looking at them, especially in a week where Leah and Angela, and I may be getting ahead of myself in a lot of ways here because I think the original question to this was Vic and Quinn the good choice here? But expanding on that, you talked about their inability to pick up Leah. They've had many weeks to do that. T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo. Also to pick up, they had a good amount of time to pick up Mackenzie as well, who was also out there and floating in the middle since week 1 up until her and Chelsea finally made that bond, and her and Cam have also made a bond.
Had both of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything.
No, and they didn't do anything. Leah has spent this entire game getting the door shut in her face by 2 different groups of people in this house, pretty much. And so now that they've gotten to this moment, they're kind of, even though Leah strategically should be going after more Chelsea and T-Core as equals, or just the 2 trios equally. If she really was thinking strategically, she probably should be going after the group that has actually won competitions in this game, as opposed to the other trio, which has kind of been a little bit more relaxed on their competition winning. If you take out AI Arena, they have 1 competition win among them. Angela literally has as many competition wins as that trio does in total, and like. So if you're looking at it from there, she should be targeting the more competitive trio, especially when you have someone like Chelsea, who you could argue is the strongest player in the game at this point, which Chelsea also has her flaws. Everyone in this game has major flaws. And I know that's not a new opinion, but like, I mean, if you're picking between the 2, there is an objectively right one to target to try to get out of this game, at least to give you some leeway. And they're also not doing that. But it really is going to come down to T-Core and Rubina and Chemo's inability to really hone in that Leah relationship, where this week could have actually been really, really good for them. And they would actually had a good chance to get out of it if they had that pre-established relationship with Leah. And then maybe it would have made more sense to Leah in this moment, in this janky fest in the backyard, to go after Chelsea as maybe a main target, or maybe Chelsea and Cam as the nominees, as opposed to Rubina and Chemo yet again. Everything is of their own doing. Tucker getting evicted was of his own doing. A lot of the people that we root for in this game have had their demise of their own doing. So and I don't know where to go with that. It's still a really good season on top of all of this.
It is the theme of the season, though. Like, when you think about it, like, everyone did something that kind of got them out the door.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a thing for common or a common thing for past seasons, but
yeah. And on top of that, this is the only season ever that we could have Otev literally last 1 round. Like, only this season could do something like that.
Yeah. Have the veto used every week. Like,
yeah. What was the veto last week?
Otev.
Veto was Otev.
The one before
last
that.
week.
The one before that.
Before that, it was oh no. What Leah won? She was wearing yellow that night. Quinn made the comment to her, the monologue.
Yes.
What was it?
No, that wasn't it. Hold on. It was called Bot Builders. Oh, it was when they had to build the thing inside of the black.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
The black box. The black box. Yeah.
That, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was. Did you have something on top of that, or?
No, I was just trying to remember the comps and everything.
You're trying to prep for the final 4 HOH, final 4 veto.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be like Corey. I was gonna try to warn everyone, do a wall yeller, make sure everyone remembers days.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. I did
Which-
enjoy that. You made me remember during the HOH competition that Chelsea won. We did get Bring Back the Key Wheel officially put into BB Cannon in one of those shout outs. So I thought that was
them
kind of
making
cool.
fun of us, but
It was, but like at least they look at tweets. I don't know.
Well, also, guys. Okay, a little math question. Barrett, what
Mhm.
is 60 times 60?
3,600.
Nick, what is 60 times 60?
I don't know. Don't ask me this.
How many zeros are in it?
How many zeros are in which
And
one?
60 or 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are all better at math than Cam.
But we also didn't do the math live on national television. I think there's a clear difference
It
when
wasn't.
they do these
It wasn't.
things.
Correction. It was not live.
Oh, sorry. Just on national TV.
What was his
Yeah.
answer? I don't remember.
36,000.
That was it. Yeah. Well, what were the two answers between Felicia and Bowie Jane last year in their tiebreaker?
Zero.
God.
I don't know. It was like 5 months and 20 seconds or something. It was something like that.
I remember just sitting on my bed watching that on my laptop and being like, how in the world did this just happen?
Let me see. I think I sent it.
And this is such a side tangent here. I'm so sorry, everyone, but I do have to just know what their numbers were. And if anyone remembers what they were off the top of their head, please don't be afraid to say it out loud. Because I cannot remember. I just remember it being the most ridiculous thing. Felicia, Bowie Jane, tiebreaker, please.
Oh, here it is.
It's-
One of them was 27.
Okay.
600, 627, 49,500.
What? That was the
Felicia-
answer?
Felicia did 49.
Bowie Jane started with 27.
Yeah.
20, and then put a 6 in front of it. Then it was 627. And then Felicia went with 49,500.
That was
Yeah.
And it was the amount of time from when what's the reason Jared was in the house or evicted to when he was actually out or something.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, glad to remember that at least. Wow. What a season we had last year. Glad the BB25
Thank
crew
you.
is back.
Thank you, Nova.
This is
Oh yes, thank you, Nova, for also getting in on this. All right, where was I going with that? Because I know I was talking about Chelsea's HOH for a second, and now I'm all the way back to not remembering where I was.
Well, we were just talking about the tiebreaker of Chelsea's HOH.
Oh yes, that's right. Okay. Do we want to talk about real quick Jerry O'Connell hosting last Thursday?
Yes, please.
We'll talk about this and then we'll really get into Janky and everything to do with Janky. Even though the most drama that we've had from Janky so far, to be honest, is Cam and McKenzie. And yeah, Jerry O'Connell, the host of Big Brother 26 for one night and one night only. For the first time ever, Julie Chen missing a live eviction in 26 seasons of Big Brother, which is pretty astounding, I think, that she has been there every single week for an eviction episode since the year 2000. Like, that's the first time that we don't have her. And I just want to know, what do we think? What do we think of Jerry O'Connell on screen? Let's give it a quick review here. Zach, what did you think of Jerry?
I mean, I saw someone say he was giving substitute teacher vibes, and I definitely got that. But there was a very big missed opportunity because there were two people they could have chosen that would have been iconic. It could have been Jeff Probst, who is literally works for the same company, mind you. I think they're out right now for Survivor though, but they're in the States because they had Nashville Survivor this past weekend. So, and he was there. So they could have had him or Arissa from BB Can.
They would have never had Arissa.
Yeah, they
That would
don't
have been
acknowledge it because
that would have been exactly. That would have been great, but they would never like Arissa's too good for CBS. Let's just put it that way. So no. I feel like they should have had Dr. Will. That was my take on the thing. I was like,
Interesting.
where was Dr. Will?
Who?
I feel like that would have been great.
Who?
Shut up.
I see. Well, Nick, what did you think?
Honestly, I was not paying very much attention to the episode when I was watching it live because of where I was.
Wow.
But because I was watching it live at a watch party, but which is ironic because it was too loud that I couldn't hear it. It was very weird to me though, because I remember like it started and like although I knew he was hosting, I was like, that's not Julie's voice, and it just was like it was distracting to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was just like weird. I was like every time he spoke, and then like even when Quinn like went out the door, I was like, that's still like it was just weird. I could not process it, and it made me realize that if Julie Chen ever decides to not be the host anymore or something happens, I don't know how I would like that.
Yeah.
Because this was weird.
No, I totally get what you mean. And which is a crazy thing to say because Julie herself as a host, especially I would say like the past 6 or so years, has been increasingly stranger as a host. So to say that it felt weird for someone else to host is saying something because we're just used to like inherent like cringy strangeness already with Julie. And but I thought for the circumstance of a guy having to step in when literally nobody else has stepped into this role before on this show, I thought he did a pretty decent job. And I agree. It was weird hearing Julie's sayings coming out of a different voice on that stage. He had a different inflection and personality with it that I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to think about this for a bit before I could really adjust.
Yeah. How he said, but first, like it was literally so awkward. Like,
yeah.
There's something that we always have to say whenever we're here, but first, and then I was like,
he didn't even have a lead in. He didn't have a lead into it either. Like Julie always has a lead in, like, and we'll soon find out, and then but first. But he just like said it as if it was the catchphrase, as opposed to it feeling natural. And I think it had like an applause break to it, and no one applauded. So that was a moment. But I did love when he first talked to the house guests, and they were like, "What is happening?" And then like after he went off camera and you could see Chelsea and Mackenzie and the toolbox on the screen behind them just like laughing. Everyone was like going insane. They were like, what was that? And then everyone's execution of Hello Jerry in the diary room when they were casting their vote, I thought was flawless. It was as if they had already practiced it. It was also weird to not hear Julie's name in the diary room at any point.
Yes.
I would have loved to see or hear what Joseph would have said if he was still in the house.
I wonder
don't wanna know.
how we would feel. This is gonna sound weird, but I wonder how we would feel if we had somebody with a different name, because like Jerry and Julie are really similar.
Yeah.
So like, what if it was like, I don't know, like Mark?
Even if
It's
you
like-
had Jeff Probst, it's not too different from that. So
Right. Like we need something like a completely different, like Hector. Hi Hector.
Like-
Like that'd be weird. Like
What's up, Jeff? Or what's up Jordan? What's up, Jeff
Oh my
Schroeder?
I was actually kind of surprised they didn't ask Jeff Schroeder to come do it because he's
I
also
know.
like on a CB, like he's probably not too far away either, and I've just felt like he would be
I think
the obvious choice.
I
But
think
maybe
he's in
like
Denver.
oh, is he not in it? Okay,
Yeah.
well,
He's in Denver.
oh well, never mind then. But yeah, Jerry, I understood why, because like one, he's on the talk. That is also Julie's show, so he probably also has somewhat of an understanding of the game of Big Brother. I don't know how much of a fan he actually is. I know he said he was.
He knows about Exquisite, so
Yeah. So I guess that's something. But
Didn't he host Buddy Games? Or am I thinking of somebody totally different?
no, that was Josh Duhamel.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
you don't remember Matt's obsession with Josh last year?
He literally had a cutout.
Oh, you're
He
right.
was like, I'm gonna take this. Of course, I want to hang out with Josh Duhamel.
I
Yeah.
forgot
Took
all
him
about
everywhere.
that, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the end for a while, but but yeah, I appreciated Jerry's effort though. I felt like he, of the circumstances, I think he did a pretty good job. I think there were definitely some awkward moments, and the interview, you could tell he just really wanted to stay focused on the questions and didn't want to mess up and was trying to keep time. And then Quinn's constant like movie shout outs for him, he just completely ignored consistently. And it took him a while to even like get used to people complimenting him when they were going into the diary room, being like, Jerry looking handsome, and he had to be like, thank you, please cast your vote. Like you could tell he was really nervous about all of that, but I like nervous as opposed to overconfident with this game. I mean, it meant he cared, so I liked it from that perspective. But I want Julie back also.
I wanted to see a Jeff Probst when he was like, come on in, guys.
It just, I think that would have been too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know
wait.
if my brain would have liked that.
But it would have fit perfectly with Quinn's bit.
Oh, his immunity idol when he came out there after he got evicted, which was a great bit by Quinn. Oh my, like he's been waiting on that moment for a while.
Literally.
But no, I love the crossover. We don't get to see too much of that. He did some cross promotion for the new season of Survivor, so good for him.
Like, yeah, he's like Survivor 47 premieres this week, next week, something.
Something like that, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, what did everyone else say about Jerry? Theo asked why they didn't have a legendary house guest to host. I think part of that was just they didn't have enough time. They had like maybe a day or two to really figure that out. From what it seemed. So
also,
that was...
I think having a previous house guest come back like with that short amount of time, it's like, and it's live. I don't know.
You need someone who has like media training. That's
that's true. I didn't even like think of that, but yeah, you would need somebody who can like do like the teleprompts basically.
Yeah, it's probably that was probably their biggest thing. We just need someone who can read a teleprompter comfortably and not look like they're struggling internally.
They just get some random what's it called, meteorologist.
The local, the LA News meteorologist is gonna host Big Brother.
Long time fan of the Big Brother the Big Brother show. Mark St. Andrews.
Everyone loves Mark St. Andrews. But you almost just said the Baltimore Ravens tight end.
You mean left guard or left tackle?
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're not running out for passes anymore. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Shy Boy said I would have said Taylor or Davon. The thing is, I just don't know if that works for someone who's just never done that before. But I feel like Taylor would have been a pretty good choice. Davon, I don't know what Davon's even up to.
She was just on not claim to fame.
She was on the GOAT.
Yeah, whatever. Amazon reality show.
It was a good show, and she ate.
I'm sure that she did.
We need Felicia on Claim to Fame for being Denzel Washington's sister or whatever Cameron thought.
I forgot about that too. Well, we're really going back to BBC.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're without Roxy here. I just assume we're back in 2023. Wow. Your mama gave 3 tomatoes and 3 thumbs down to Jerry. Wow. Harsh reviews on the tomometer or whatever they say on Rotten Tomatoes. Julie has been clocked out half-assed in it for some years. Arguable. I don't tend to disagree in some of that. But yeah.
Depends on the season for her.
Yes, also that. Jen, welcome. Also, thank you for the super chat. Where's my Foxy Roxy? Roxy is busy tonight, unfortunately. We said Monday nights, and Roxy said no. So Roxy will be back though. It'll be all good.
She's actually in the house right now.
Yeah,
on the live feed, you'll see her.
Yeah, it's a real late twist to the season. Actually, you won't see her if she's in the house because everyone's in the backyard right now. But
yeah,
That's right.
She's
That's why
actually
they're in the backyard. It's all making sense.
Mhm.
she's actually giving ice cream to them in the backyard. She's restocking the ice cream for them.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Janky.
The veto? Oh.
Oh God, we didn't talk about Otev yet. Oh man. Getting off on our tangents here about Jerry
Wow.
O'Connell. Okay, let's talk about Otev first and then we'll talk about Janky. Because Otev, historic and for all the wrong reasons. I saw Ethan Animel made a video on the ranking all of the Otev games since they began Otev, and I have not watched it yet, so I don't know where he ranks this season. But if it's not number one, Ethan, I swear.
It was not number one.
What was number one?
Number one was BB16, Pissed Off Penguin,
Oh, is that Gilbert Gottfried Penguin?
Yes.
Is that one? Okay.
RIP.
Is that the first time we heard Otev cuss? I feel like that was one of the first times I remember hearing like the
Maybe.
F-bomb from Otev, and I was like, whoa. But is that why? Is that why we always have him cuss now? Is because BB16? We do everything based off of BB16 in this game.
I mean, that's how they cast people.
That is true. We give you one season and one season only, and it is BB16. Okay. Otev. Look at this group of people who absolutely demolished this game of Otev. This was pre-demolishing, pre-covered in goo, and the question was, bring me the person who did not compete in the first HOH competition. Now, everyone interpreted that as being Tucker, who
No,
didn't
it was
find-
not. It was bring me the evicted house guest who did not compete in the HOH competition.
Okay, so basically what I said just now.
No, you did not say.
Anyways.
You said that. You said the person. It's
Okay,
the
they're all
house
evicted house guests out there, okay? That's Otev.
The way you worded it could have been two people.
Okay, sorry. Let me break down the rules for everyone. Otev is veto spelled backwards, and it's like musical chairs, and everyone runs out there, and they bring them all back. And the person who doesn't, or who brings the name back last, they don't get to sit on the stump or whatever it is that year, and then they're out of the game and rinse and repeat. But the question was, bring me the evicted house guests that didn't compete in the first HOH competition. Everyone thought Tucker, but not realizing that the first round of the HOH competition was when Tucker got
social
eliminated.
round.
Yeah, it's a social round. And Mackenzie, and apparently T-Core, because it's probably easy to say that when you're not competing in the veto, to say that you knew it the whole time, knew that it was actually Cedric, because he was a mascot alongside Chelsea during that HOH competition. And so everyone brings back Tucker except for Mackenzie, who brought back Cedric and was therefore the winner of Otev after just one round. After how many hours of having to set up that competition throughout the week, the planning, the questions that they had for the future rounds, the testing that had to go into it, every little thing that they did led to one round in probably 10 minutes of competition time, if that, by the time Mackenzie slid down and was declared the winner. I mean, it was so awkward because I've never seen a competition in Big Brother on an episode where the person just won immediately like this. And
Yes,
so
you
then they
have.
had to. I have.
Yeah.
Okay, I have. Never mind, everyone. I guess I have. Are you going to explain to me what it was?
Derek BB16.
Oh, in the double when they all got the question wrong on purpose to give them the answer.
I don't know.
for the
I don't know if
HOH.
it's on purpose, but
Or maybe when Christmas won the running competition.
Yes.
Remember
there
that?
you go. That was awful.
I
I
actually
felt
wish
like-
that was over quicker.
I felt like they were editing this like I don't even know how to explain this, but they made it look longer than it actually was. I remember
Yeah.
they literally made, because I was watching it live, and they cut it to a commercial and everything, and I was like, girl, it's one question. How they were just searching and searching and searching and searching. I was like, they're making this so long.
Well, because this is also just me thinking if the house guest would have taken a moment, and if it really was as hard as they said that it was, the harder to find answers are usually the ones at the end. So the more abundant names that are mixed in there are typically going to be the ones that are going to be the first answers.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, the producer's goal is not to have everyone get confused in the first round. The goal is to make everyone fight each other to get the name because they have so many of them out there. So the fact that they all had to really like scavenge Tucker's disc or whatever we had, the battery or the, I don't know what it was exactly. I don't remember what we had.
It was a file.
A file, excuse me.
They should have not given. I don't know. Maybe they should have given them an easier question, or I don't know. Like,
do you think they inadvertently like
it
forgot
felt like
that
a trick question? Honestly,
Well,
like
to be fair, the only reason why Mackenzie got it right was because she was one of the
Was
people
be-
eliminated
right.
first.
right. I
So-
feel like it made sense.
So
of why
Mackenzie's
got it
win
right.
didn't. So yeah, Mackenzie's didn't.
Shut
Chelsea
didn't
also
count.
missed it thow. Chelsea was the other mascot, and she
okay,
also missed the question.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
You're right. I don't know. It did feel like a weird trick question to me.
It was a hard first question, like of the
Yeah, like for
normal.
the first one, like really?
It's like the teacup question.
Yes, or the guinea pig question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what it reminded
Yeah.
me of. I was like,
How
this is
to-
so
how to-
technical, like
How do two animals have a previous relationship before coming to the house? You know,
Right.
that's like,
right? Because that totally counts. You have to see my girl slide down that slide.
I just wanted to at least see that part. After Angela's scream, oh yeah, I'll go to Mackenzie sliding. Also, do you believe that T-Core actually knew the answer, or do you think she was
No.
like,
well, honestly, T-Core's pretty smart.
I mean, yes.
I feel like after a while she realized the same thing
That's
that I
my
would think.
queen.
Oh my gosh, she got the answer right because she was one of the people that got eliminated first. So of course.
Shut up. My faves always win OTEV. I'm just saying.
Cody.
Shut up. I didn't say all of them.
My faves always
Tommy?
win.
Did Tommy win?
I see. What's really funny is I cannot remember really any OTEV winners ever.
Okay.
Immediately after the season is over, I cannot remember who won OTEV. Even by the end of the season, I'm gonna forget that Mackenzie won this. Probably.
There's a
Janelle
lot
literally
of
won
Janelle
OTEV.
won. Zach Rance won. Alyssa won.
Eric Stein won.
Michelle won in 18.
Michelle won in 18.
Michelle
Big
did
Meech
win in
won
18.
OTEV. I don't
Big
remember that
Meech
at
did
all.
win OTEV.
You
Yes.
don't? I remember. Alyssa won.
Alyssa, I was about to say Alyssa won in 23.
Okay,
Liz Nolan.
Liz Nolan won. Okay, who won in
Next-
24? Did we say that already?
Next,
It was
Brittany and Michael.
Brittany?
Brittany
it was
did.
the Roach.
And Michael,
Michael-
apparently, according to Wikipedia.
Oh, the
Michael
double
won it.
veto.
Yeah,
That's right.
and Nick's guy Jag won.
Mm.
I actually really like Jag.
Jag
After
won
meeting him in
OTEV. Who would have thought?
person.
I don't even know why I questioned last year's really, but
My husband, Zach Rance.
Yeah, Barrett, your girl Alyssa won OTEV.
oh, in 15?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I was really excited for that. I remember
As you
being really
should
stoked.
As you should be.
Okay, y'all. OTEV.
But OTEV's cursed. So that means Mackenzie's not going to win the season.
And, you know, that's something we've had curses be broken
Shut up.
before in
Exactly.
Big Brother history. So who's to say that this one can't be broken? And we've also never had someone win in one round of OTEV. So I feel like this one can be an outlier if there ever was an OTEV to be an outlier. And that's really me comforting Nick with the potential curse.
Thank you.
And just for that, Nick, I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to pick Mackenzie to be my winner. Pick.
Scoot's right. Cody did break that curse because Cody won. So
Cody literally had Derek win the whole season for him
still won Otev.
everyone knew he was gonna win though. Like
Still won Otev and won the
literally
game.
Mackenzie could watch the first
And
episode
Mackenzie's
and
gonna be the
know
second one to do it.
that's a choice.
Zach, you're only allowed to make your
It's
points
reality.
if your camera's in focus.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought it wasn't focused.
Get it together.
There.
I think it's focused like to the if you get like super close to your screen, you have to be like 2 inches away from your camera. You have to go full Britney if you really want to.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But no, as
Any-
much crap that I give Mackenzie just because I mean it's easy to. She's definitely having some upside. I feel like her stock is going way up
Period. It is.
because she got her software update and she's finally up to date with everything.
Exactly.
It was really Ainsley that was tearing her down, I think, if anything, you know.
She needed a new AI system.
She voted Ainsley in the house too. I mean, I don't get it. Like,
Okay, one more. Mackenzie did vote Ainsley into the house. Okay. How was
She
that
did.
curse doing? Speaking of curses, I know it was broken with Joseph, maybe, in terms of everyone that voted no to Mackenzie
Yeah.
getting evicted.
Yeah, Joseph.
Okay.
So the people who voted yes were Angela, that are still in it. It was Angela, Leah, Mackenzie, Rabina, and that's it.
Okay.
Cam,
I think
Chelsea, Chemo, and T-Core all voted no.
All right.
So
Yeah.
it's half and half.
I'm gonna see this scream from Angela real quick, and just so I can give myself a little bit of life. Angela had the incorrect answer.
Hey, she still got
Um,
up there first though.
Anyone could have just grabbed one and just ran up there first. To be honest, that's not the.
But did anyone though?
But she
No,
did
it was
have
our
the same
girl,
answer.
Angela.
She had the same wrong answer as everyone else, and that's what counts.
So if it was right, she would have been right.
It would have looked really cool. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it
and
was right,
if she did think correctly, then yeah, maybe that would have been cool. And the same goes for like literally any competition ever. If the person that lost won it, yeah, it would have been pretty cool if
Exactly.
that happened.
It's also funny because Mackenzie was literally looking, and I mean, you could see other people's answers. Like, I'm sure that she knew other people had, like, had who was it, Tucker, and she
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, I don't have Tucker. Well, let me just not say anything. Let me not Rockstar."
Yeah.
So- Oh my God.
I never mentioned like we didn't talk about Angela's karma very much, I know. But literally all of her like best allies in the game have gone home, and it's been like her fault every single time, but she's still in the game somehow. Whether it be out of her own I mean, most of the time it's just her own freaking out, whether it be Tucker getting out of the game or whether it be like Leah using a veto on her. And then Leah immediately losing 2 of her allies, which could stem from that using the veto on her, is one of the funniest things that you could possibly see. If Leah doesn't use that veto, Angela goes home. Joseph and Quinn are still in this game, probably. Maybe Jargo, maybe Joseph's not. But Leah uses that veto. One of her allies goes home. Angela, still in the game, gets nominated the next week, is the target again, and then suddenly not, just so they can send another one of Leah's allies home. And Leah feeling slighted by this is valid and makes her winning this HOH and not nominating Chelsea astounding. But I digress. Let's talk about Janky and what Janky has set up in this house, which is a really rough week. I almost went Scooby-Doo there. And
It's okay. I almost did it too multiple times.
Let's I'm gonna go back to yesterday's episode real quick, just for Janky's arrival, and hopefully YouTube won't be mad at this.
Who here loves ice cream? How about pizza? Yes! Pizza.
Yeah.
What about singing and dancing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good news. All that fun stuff
Uh-huh.
and much more can be found at Janky World. It's the jankiest
I'm gonna
place
go to the
for
backyard.
This sounds like so much fun
Mhm.
and good times. Let's freaking go.
Okay. I'm gonna stop right
It's
there.
giving BB-18.
Okay.
Okay, how?
They literally had a carnival in the backyard.
When?
Whenever
I
they
feel
literally
like-
had a band playing in the back.
Okay.
And
I
it
feel
was
like they've
it was a
had many
luxury-
carnivals in the backyard.
Exactly, Barry.
I think it's like their go-to thing is that they just reuse the same carnival set every single season at some point, whether it's for like some weird halfway party or just like I feel like they always use the carnival. The carnival's been out there. It's not
Yeah.
just an
Hey.
18 thing, Zach.
When was the last time?
I don't have to tell you last time for me to tell you that I'm confident that I've seen the carnival out there more than just BB-18.
Thank you.
Give me an example. No one else came up with one.
I don't have to. I'm pretty solid in my answer that it's been there more times, and I'm gonna lock
I already
it
have
in.
another
Yeah.
one. BB-24 Pie Fest.
Pie Fest. Oh yeah. Oh, Pie Fest. Oh wait. I don't have the clip of them actually getting locked out. Okay. Well, that whole clip leads up to Janky telling them that they have to stay there the entire week, and then the doors close. And I loved that part. That was great.
That was great.
This is a torturous twist to put on these house guests. If you have not watched the live feeds, you're doing really good for yourself. And that's the first time we've really got to say that this season, minus if we're talking about the feed cuts, which are still happening. But this week has been really rough because nobody wants to be back there. If you remember Dire Fest and how much of a struggle it was to really pull the drama out of that situation, in a very dramatic situation where you had Terrence as the HOH and Joseph ends up going home and Kyle is ratting out whatever their alliance was called. I've already forgotten at this point. The Leftovers. A lot of things really set up that week, but it was so dragged down by their environment and their inability to really have those conversations, or at the very least for us to hear them very well, because you can only talk so loud in the backyard that it makes it impossible to really watch on the feeds. And then on top of that, they're just so unhappy, like, and not even in like I want to get into a fight with someone. Well, maybe minus Chelsea and Cam, but like to a point where they're just exhausted more than anything, and irritated at the game. And when you put them in close quarters like that for that long, it really limits the strategy that can be done. I mean, we have such a solid season in terms of chaos and ever-changing alliances and all of these things, and putting them all in the backyard with Leah as the HOH just took away that ability to really have those conversations that I think needed to be had, and for all of them to even think clearly, apparently, about the game ahead. And so it's been rough. And Nick and Zach, I do want to get your thoughts on Janky World, and I'll find more clips that support what Janky World is. But Nick, go ahead.
I thought it would be fun at first. So like I did kind of like the twist in 24. The only I guess downside was that the stupid wall yellers were a thing, if I remember correctly, and like
Yeah.
the feeds were like we barely got to see the outside. So I was a little worried about that when like I saw the feeds come on and I was like, "Oh, this is what's happening." And then I quickly remembered why I like didn't like watching the outdoor like half during 24, and it's because they weren't doing anything, because they can't do anything. There is nowhere to strategize. There is nowhere to go. They are kind of all in the same room, and so it's kind of like, what the hell is going to happen? I don't know, because Leah isn't able to talk to anyone because they're all in the same room. So it's really awkward. And like you said, they don't have like energy. I feel like they're always just like laying around. They're not doing anything. I turned on, normally I sleep with the live feeds on. I know I'm a psycho, but it helps me sleep. It's weird. Okay. Anyways,
Okay, we get it. You literally want to watch Mackenzie. We get it.
shut up. Anyways, I turned on the feeds and it was maybe about like 12 o'clock ish, and they all look like that. And I was like, what is happening? Like, normally it's like midnight. Like, y'all should be up. They all look like that.
This is legitimately Angela today. This is a video, by the way. This is not an image. They literally do a whole camera move and everything around her. This is, I mean, like, this is not an exaggeration to the energy that these house guests are bringing. Day 4 of being in Janky World right now. And yeah, it's not an exaggeration at all. And they're being broken up by random dance parties, which have gotten less and less enthusiastic and just sad. And they're only, I think the worst thing is they're only allowed to eat pizza and ice cream.
I was just gonna say that.
Like,
What
that's
happened to
actually
someone-
bad. Like, that's actually almost borderline torture to make
What
them eat just
happened
those two
if
things.
Someone is lactose intolerant.
Yeah, are they just eating slop at that point? Like, I don't know. I need the specifics on this.
Like, what is this? Is
Apparently,
weird.
the toilets have specific ones where you have to use the restroom, like whichever
Oh.
one you have to do, like number
Oh,
1 or number 2.
wow. It
Interesting.
sounds like a job for the Lord of Latrine to come back and help us
Get yelled-
organize this matter.
Not
Get yelled
that.
at by Christian.
Yes, and not get yelled at by Christian. But yeah, I think this twist is just about Zach. I want to know your thoughts actually before I continue.
I mean, it's definitely a twist.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it because I like the air conditioning at least a little bit, but apparently the AC went out last week too. So I don't know how long it was out for, but it was out for a while, and people were congregating to the bathroom for like a long periods of time. But I think it's minimizing gameplay for sure. The one-on-ones being out in the open is definitely a choice. It's I don't know, because you can't really do a split house during this time because there's not enough people. I feel I would love a split house twist, but one of them being outside and the other one being inside just doesn't. I don't know. I
Well-
prefer the curtain more than anything.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the curtain. Yeah. God, why isn't Roxy here? This is perfect for her.
No.
But yeah, no, you make a good point because in 24, we did have a split house for the most part when that twist started, and that's what was so frustrating is that we had the split house, and then like half of them, not even. It was a very like disproportionate splitting of the house the way that they were drafted with the two HOHs of Michael and Terrence. And this week we have an actual split house to a degree with literally the two people in the middle holding all of the power, and I mean HOH and 2 vetoes. They both have one. And it's still not going to work out in how it should strategically. And I'm going to blame the twist for that. I don't know how I can, but I'm going to blame the twist for all of that and not so much Leah. I think the circumstances lead to this week being very awkward to take a shot and to especially get inside of an HOH's head when the best you can do is go like 10 feet away from someone to have a discussion
and
about
you're
it.
literally getting your brain fried and listening to airplanes and traffic all night.
It is planes and traffic on the feeds. Planes and traffic galore.
Yeah, I think they should move it. Like, this is just my gripes with 24. But imagine you have a split house, but you're still living in the same house, but you really can't say much about what's happening on the other side, but you can argue with people. You can be like imagine if the split house was happening and everyone was still in the one house, like the confrontations that would have been made if Kyle was doing what he did.
Yeah. It felt it allowed the villain of that season, or I guess America's favorite to a lot of people, to really go full force and and like kind of just tear down the game in a little bit. Like the twist itself, the idea was good. The execution was just very poor with how the house ended up getting split up. Because I think it really put a lot of that fun to a standstill from where that game was going at that point. And also just with who people are rooting for, which I'm not saying you should adapt twists based on the people that are left in the game and how much we like them, because that's not how. Maybe a little bit. Maybe have more puzzles for Tucker. I don't know. But maybe have biscuit competitions for Tucker as well in the future. I don't. Maybe that could work out. But it's just frustrating to see in a game
Long-time
that
friend of the podcast.
Yeah, Tucker. Yeah, longtime friend. He was also on the
He
winner's
is.
circle, I think, recently. And have a season where we actually are entertained week by week. And just the way that these people interact and the way that they are ever changing, like in the way that the AI arena really altered the way that their brains operate with this game from a strategic standpoint, and the way like the fact that we have a season where someone could actually be swayed by someone's speech is insane. And that
Something
only
that never happens and would never happen.
and it hadn't happened before. And I don't know why you keep pretending like it had. That only really could have happened if we have their mindset being changed because of the AI arena, where they weren't allowed to really think about telling people whether they're casting their vote out of fear that they're going to win the AI arena comp, and then they have to rethink things. So it's a lot of like last second strategizing, and taking away AI arena, and which is one thing, and also putting them in the backyard for the entire week just really kills the vibes as a feedster, and just as a viewer of the episode. I think it was Leah on the episode who was like, this is going to get old after like a day. And yeah, she's right. It wasn't even really a day. And the feeds didn't even come on until it felt like halfway through the next day that they were actually on. But yeah, that's just, I hate that this is the twist that we get this week, and I can't wait for it to end. But I do want to mention the HOH comp from this week that Leah won. We brought back our classic BB OTT / BB19 HOH comp, or in 19, was it a battle back? Because Cody won that one, but was it a battle back / HOH in 19 when he won that? I can't remember.
Think he was.
I try to forget 19.
No,
because that's right. Because Cody won all those competitions individually,
won all those comps individually,
and then he came back and won HOH.
No, Jess won the HOH.
It was a pick your champion HOH, or not HOH, a pick your champion, and if he won against Paul, then he was back in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I hate that season. That just brought back so many angry emotions during that time. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we brought that competition back. I really like this competition, by the way. It's like pressure cooker, but just slightly different. And at least has the same kind of element to it, to where you could actually do it for 10 hours, which we did it for 10 hours. Last year, we actually had a good pressure cooker competition. This year, we have a really long endurance pressure cooker type.
Are you saying that pressure cooker can't be done for 10 hours?
No, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, never mind.
No, it has been done twice for more.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was about to say.
But no, that's not what I was saying. And we even had great moments during this competition. We had Angela, and I already alluded to it, her moment where she was like, if you guys just promise me that I'm safe, I'll drop. But just know I want to be safe. Like, I'm not kidding. I want to be safe. And then after 9 hours, she was just like, I'm good. And then just dropped anyway. Like, with no reasoning behind it. Like, what?
Hey,
okay.
She's safe. She's not getting put on the block.
It's like she knew. She definitely knew. But
I will.
Yeah.
At least in the diary rooms, like I feel like Cam. I mean, she already knew she was going to Leah. It was more so about Cam. If Cam won, I think Cam is the type of player right now that would stick to his word and not have put her up. I think, and I think Chelsea would have nudged him to put up Takor and Rubina, or Rubina and Chemo.
That's assuming that we know anything about Cam's game right now. Which,
shout out to all my dogs at the crib.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yes.
the most I got from Cam this week was that moment where Angela was like, "Will you talk to Chelsea for me? Will you just talk to her? Can you put in a good word for me?" And then Cam just walked into Chelsea's HOH room and put on headphones. And then
No.
Angela
No,
just went in
Cam-
and pitched.
Cam just did this.
He's doing that right now in the backyard. But what was the other thing I wanted to mention from that competition? Oh yeah, it came down to Cam and Leah at about the 10-hour mark, and Cam had the idea to go on 1 foot, challenge Leah to it, which upset Chelsea a bit. Which I was like, Chelsea, you've been out of this competition for like 5 hours, and you're complaining about
Literally.
Cam trying to think of a way to win it faster.
That pissed me off so much. The fact that she doesn't admit that she's jealous. She is literally jealous of Cam and Leah. And she's like, I would never do that to you. Girl, you weren't even close to even surviving that long. Like, we're about to go almost 10 hours at this. You got out, what, 1 minute after the comp started?
Yeah.
Angela, a 50-year-old woman, lasted longer than you did. Like, come on.
And Angela dropped for seemingly no reason too. Like Angela could have
Literally.
kept going.
I believe that she could have. Like, it was just standing. She was literally in her slippers chilling.
Angela's like, I'm too good for this. You know, it's actually kind of sad how much y'all are struggling. I can tell. I feel bad if I stay in this, make y'all feel worse about yourself.
Angela
But-
Compy, she loves to give other people a chance.
I know, it's so kind of her. That's going to earn her favor with the jury. I'm telling you. Also, to mention who got out of this competition pretty immediately, it felt like, were T-Court, Rubina, and Chemo. The
There you
trio,
go.
the whole trio.
Wait,
There you
not
go.
Rubina. Rubina was final 4, I think.
Rubina made it longer than T-Court and Chemo did. T-Court and Chemo were the first 2 out.
Yeah, and then
There you go.
Takor made me laugh because she was like, don't do a Chemo or Takor and keep on going. And then Chemo literally side-eyed her ass so hard whenever she said that. And I was just like, boy, she has a point. You literally haven't won anything. Like, you won one AI comp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chelsea didn't compete. Zach.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zach.
she didn't? Sorry.
She was outgoing HOH.
I definitely also alluded like she competed, but yeah, Zach, what the hell?
Barrett made me thought that she
Exactly.
did. I was like,
Don't put this on me, okay?
okay, I take back everything I said. Still. What? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, I'm trying to interpret this. Nick, you got this?
You know, Zach, if you use your listening ears,
Listening ears.
Oh,
before speaking, life would be so much better. Cam has a game. I can't stand Chelsea, by the way.
Shit said I don't have my readers on. Greatest follow-up you could have had to that.
Look, I was able to translate. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but thank you,
well,
Jen, once again for that.
I will
Zach,
say
put on
that
your listening
Barrett,
ears.
Barrett literally put me on the path of like Chelsea literally didn't last that long, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going off of that. So
And was I wrong? I
she
don't
didn't
know.
last anything.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm
anyway.
gonna stay on the point that I was right from the start in what I said. Because
Okay, anyway, this doesn't change the fact that what Sheldon said, Chelsea is still jealous of Cam and Leah.
oh, that's
like-
not the one I meant.
I thought the channel was no. Okay, anyway, Chelsea is still jealous of Cam and Leah, and the fact that they were going 10 hours, which is longer than anyone else so far in in this season, the longest comp has gone. Chelsea has no room to talk. Like 10 hours, they're literally outside, and it's morning.
I'm just upset
And-
we didn't get to watch it.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a competition that we got to watch. We didn't get to see it on BB19. I remember this. Because
Yeah,
it was I remember this might have been the first time Spoiler Girl actually came like to being a thing, if I remember correctly. At least I remember. No, it was Reality Vegas. It was them. Which is, oh my god, I can't
Oh
believe
my
I'm
god,
saying these
Reality
usernames.
Vegas.
But yeah, I remember the feeds went down before the last battle back or the I don't know, whatever it was. And everyone in that Reality Vegas said Cody won the competition. And then in the HOH competition, Jessica won. And everyone was like, there's no way that happened. And I think we had to wait up until the episode came out to see it. And it was so nice. I mean, so horrible that we had to root for Cody Nixon. But I mean, such a great moment in BB19, in a season in which there were not that many great moments. And thank you, Reality Vegas, for that time in my life.
I still forget that
They were
Jessica
great.
didn't make jury.
She should
Yeah.
have. Anyway, if it was
yeah.
a normal season, as Joseph would say.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So Leah's the HOH. We had the ridiculous nomination ceremony
Queen.
last night with the rings on the bottles, and I thought I had a clip of that.
What she should have done was like knock one down and smash it like until there were only 2 left.
She should have had to toss it from like 5 feet out until she actually got it. Or what if she
Or
had
leave them all there and it was random and
it
whatever
was
one
random?
she
Yeah. She did a little plinko to see who was nominated.
and it goes 10 hours because she can't land one on the bottle.
Chelsea's still mad. Okay. Yeah, here was a little bit of the nomination ceremony last night.
The first house guest that I am nominating is
Oh. Okay. Well,
Wait,
Rabina-
I didn't see this.
how did you not see this?
I was watching football at the time and I was flipping back and forth between the channels.
Nick
Okay,
always watching football every week. It's like, I can't watch Big Brother. I'm watching football.
I can't help it.
It's Thursday night football. It's college football Saturday.
it is my duty.
Sorry. Yeah, Leah nominated via carnival rings on bottles in a nice little ring toss nomination ceremony. So yeah, we had that. And who knows what the veto competition is going to look like once we actually get it presented to us. But I will say, for those who have not been listening to the podcast, I've mentioned the veto like 4 times already. We have 2 POV winners. We have a regular POV winner, and we have a janky POV winner. A veto in which you have to compete in another competition to unlock the janky POV power, if you so choose. And those winners are Angela and Leah. Angela with the regular POV, Leah with the janky POV. And I don't even, have they done the veto ceremony yet? Okay.
No.
Are we still not doing that thing? It's been weirdly behind schedule in terms of like all of the ceremonies this week. So
Someone said they're delaying the veto ceremony and Tigor and Kimo are still not doing anything.
oh my god. Yeah, frustrating. So we have Rabina and Kimo on the block. We have 2 vetoes. The opportunity to replace both nominees is there. You have 2 people who are not aligned with either side that are completely in power, and yet we are still doing nothing. And in fact, when Leah told T-Core that she was going to be the replacement nominee after Angela said that she was planning on using the veto on Kimo, T-Core had about 30 seconds of silence. But I will say, Leah did feel kind of guilty about it afterwards. So the silence weirdly said a lot. So I'll give T-Core a little bit of that, but at the same time, saying nothing isn't exactly a strategy that works well in Big Brother. So I don't know. We could very well see T-Core go out at the end of this week. And in fact, I think if the people who are voting are smart, they would vote out T-Core. And it's going to be Angela who's really the deciding vote. No, it's not even going to be Angela because you have Chelsea and Cam and Mackenzie who will all vote T-Core out, and that would be enough votes, right? Yes.
Yes.
Assuming Angela. I mean, no, never mind. Yeah, it would be enough. Sorry, my math is way off.
I guess I guess 2 questions for the class.
Oh.
So, the first one, do we think Leah needed to win this HOH or no?
Ooh, good
Oh
question.
yeah, if it was she was up against Cam and Angela, then no.
I think if you're Leah, one, we question a lot about Leah as a game player, and we have for 60 days now. Two, I think Leah should probably take any chance she can get to be in power. The thing is, though, I'm not sure if she knows that, or at least what to do with this power, because I think she's completely misstepped in this HOH. So that's another thing. I don't know if I think beforehand I would have said, yes, Leah should win. After we get out of this, though, I don't know if that's going to be the case for her. It depends on how she handles the rest of this week. But she needed to really split up this trio in a way where one of each was on the block. However it needed to be, whether it be Cam and T-Core, whether it be Chelsea and T-Core, whether it be Mackenzie and Rubina. There just needed to be one from each trio on the block. And I think by her picking the side that is way more competitive and also don't care about Leah that much as a game player, I feel like it's a big misstep for her. And also Angela also not seeing this is kind of concerning, but also are we surprised that Angela didn't see this? I don't know. So a little bit of both, Nick.
Okay.
Mostly I think this is going to be good for her just to have power. Just she is a big swing and a miss, unfortunately, but she learned from Quinn, I guess.
Okay. My second one was, do you feel like she nominated the right people?
Oh, well, I think I
No.
answered that.
Yeah, and you feel like you answered that. Okay, so, because I've been getting into so many debates this week about this whole thing with my friends. I feel like this has been the most controversial, well, I want to say controversial week that we've had yet, because we've had some really, where it's been like, whoa, what are you doing? But I don't know. I feel like it's been very much like, no, she should have done this, or no, she should have done this. And it's very like back and forth online this week. At least that's from what I've been seeing. And I don't get the whole, I don't think she should have done 1-1. I feel like that kind of
okay.
was not the right move, I guess. And I don't know if that's like bad of me, and like maybe I wouldn't be a good Big Brother player or whatever, but like I feel like if you nominate one from each, you piss off both, and then in a way it kind of just becomes, all right, well, do you want to get Leah out? Yeah, let's get Leah out, and then Leah's just like the next boot. And because it's like a mutual thing that both of the trios or whatever they are at that point can come together and just be like, all right, well, then we could just get rid of Leah then. So I feel like she should have picked a side, and I feel like she picked the right side in a way, because I feel like,
How so?
so hear me out again. I feel like T-Core and Chemo are like I've been saying, a friggin' showmance at this point. They walk around conjoined by the hip.
Well, they kissed.
Anyways,
Did you not see?
no.
Let him talk.
Anyways, so you have those two who are very clearly like a final two, not getting away from each other. And then you also have Rubina, who's just following them and literally is crying when T-Core wins HOH. Then you have the other trio, the Mackenzie, Chelsea, Cam thing. That group is dysfunctional as hell, in my opinion, because you have the weird jealousy thing with Chelsea, Cam, and I don't know if Leah sees all this, obviously, but like this is, from me as a viewer being like, they're not as solid as the T-Core, Chemo, Rubina thing. So yeah, they can win comps, but like they're not a solid final three, whereas the other three, in my opinion, are a final solid three. Does that make sense?
I can see that. Yeah. I think you make a lot of really good points here.
Thanks.
And I think it
I've
all
been
comes
arguing
to
it all week.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I think everything leading up to it was like, if Leah wins, Chelsea and T-Core have to go up. So I appreciate someone not saying that has to happen, because honestly, you're right. She could easily pick a side and be like, listen, I could nominate you because you're obviously a trio, but honestly, I'd rather work with you. And she could go with that route. And that would be a decent route. And especially like you said, if she's by picking Chelsea, Cam, and Mackenzie, who all are actively jealous of each other in different ways.
Yeah.
Picking the love triangle trio is not a bad route to take over the we're dedicated to each other and we're gonna cry every time we win
Right.
one of our competitions, which we haven't won that many.
Right.
And
And
Yeah.
that's another layer to the whole thing too, right? It's like she's keeping the trio safe that can win shit. And if she keeps the other people safe, what are they going to do for her? They can't win anything to help her out. Like, I
Mhm.
just, and they're going to just look out for each other at that point. So I think this is the right move, despite what people online think.
Yeah. I also think there could have been a strategy where she nominates Chelsea, let's say Chelsea and T-Core like people were wanting in the beginning, knowing full well that whoever wins veto, it's probably going to be used, really banking on that fact. Like for the majority of people that are left in the game are probably going to use this veto. Banking on the fact that someone's going to win, and then to be like whoever comes off the block, maybe then having a discussion with one of those trios and be like, I could just renom another one of your trio if you use this veto, but really I'd rather pick a side here and then just actively choose that way. And maybe that builds a little bit of rapport, especially if before your nominations you're like, I'm very aware that there are two sides here and I am not on either of these sides, so I don't feel the need to pick right now, and then try to earn their favor throughout the week that way. That also, in my mind, could be a strategy, but then again, you have to really be confident in your how much they like. I guess you can paint yourself as the victim for the entire game and be like, I have never been involved with either of these things, so this is why I'm making these nominations right now for each of these sides because you've both outcasted me, and then maybe make them be like, oh shit, we didn't pull Leah in, and then maybe throughout that try to earn the favor of Leah, and then have after the veto, have more of a side that she's picked.
I think that she's been able to at least get more favor with Chelsea with that too, because I mean we've seen it at least in her confessionals too. I think that Chelsea sees, well, you know, she's not bitter about me going against her, and then it's like, well, if she's not after me, then why am I even going after her? Like, and I think she also I think that she's the type where it's like she's not gonna be jealous of Leah with Cam. She's jealous with Cam going with Leah, if that makes sense. Whereas I think that she'll be more mad at the fact that Cam was doing anything and seeing that as unloyal to her, and which if it came down to it and sees that he's more loyal to her, that she would go after him over her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, because that's kind of how like Chelsea's with the whole Mackenzie thing. Like, I feel like Chelsea doesn't have any animosity towards Mackenzie. She's kind of just like, why is Cam all over her? Why
She's
is
mad
Cam
at
touching
Cam?
her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it would be the same thing with Leah in that sense too. So I agree. I agree with Zach again tonight. What is going on?
It's crazy. We need Roxy back.
I know.
No, that's a really good point, Nick. And I'm glad you brought this question up for the class, by the way.
Thank you. I came ready to discuss this because, like I said, I have been literally arguing with people about this all week long.
So what I'm hearing is Leah is looking good.
Yeah, she might even be a winner pick. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think you don't think so?
No, I'm frozen.
Yeah, that's okay. Unless you're doing this thing where you pretend you're frozen right now.
No. 1 second. I'm gonna reload real quick.
That's okay. But yeah, this was an interesting week aside from the Janky World to really talk about strategy in general, because I think this is a really unique position in Big Brother where I'm excited to see what the repercussions are because of the choices that Leah has made, and maybe we can kind of remember this in the future when we have a split house and then someone in the middle in power. It's kind of what you ask for in Big Brother in a way when you have a split house like this, which, I mean, the back and forth, the power shifting can be fun, which we've had a little bit of that this year as well. Even though it seems like every Thursday night it ends up backfiring for people that think that they're in power. And But now we have a situation where there actually is a good split house where you can actually pick and choose a side if you're in the middle, not just for Leah, but for Angela as well. Even though Angela can't stick to a side to save her life. So I don't maybe there's not much to do there for her. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this week plays out. And if one of the trio of T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo goes, I'm honestly okay with that at this point. I think they've had their chance to really solidify more for their game at this point, and they just haven't done it at a lot of those points. And as well as like winning competitions, they're just not good. They're just not good at them. And
No, like I said, they suck at comps.
and yeah. And that's fine. And when we get a continuation of Chelsea and MJ and Cam and all of that, that's fine with me too. Which I'm going to transition to that now as we wait for Zach's return as well. But Nick, once again, great question. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Because there's honestly not even a right answer necessarily. At the
No,
moment,
there isn't, and I think
especially with
it's
this cast.
funny. Yeah, it's funny too because like my friends that I've been arguing with are like either hardcore Leah fans or hardcore Leah haters, and I'm like, you guys, just wait, just wait. But I think she did the right thing. Just saying.
Yeah, and that's fine. And if nothing else, Leah came out of this week with an HOH and a veto on her belt,
Right.
and
still never on the block, and it's about to be Final 7.
still never on the block. T-Core finding her way on the block for the first time, probably by the end of today, whenever we decide to do the veto ceremony. Yeah, and I'm going to break up this intermission with a very interesting clip that I have not been able to decipher yet exactly.
Oh, my name's Tony Shay. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. How are you doing? How you been? Can you believe where we are and this is so special?
Oh, shit. Where did you almost go?
What was that?
What?
Janky World, man.
The caption says, "Doing some Southern bit."
Yeah, I mean that it was what that was.
You're Southern. Shouldn't you know what that was?
That was like a quick greeting at church for someone that you don't want to talk to for more than 3 sentences.
Got it.
But you also don't want to be rude to. That was the vibe I got. But like in the midst of being in a carnival in a in a studio lot, really threw me off guard. And I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what led to that. And it could have just happened out of nowhere for no reason. I just felt like everyone should know this. Hey, Zach.
What's up?
Glad you're back. I think you are on like your computer microphone. That didn't sound like your normal microphone.
Yeah, gotta be kidding me. Oh no, I'm on my headphones. What?
Oh, wow. Get back to it.
Get with it, Zach.
You're going Brittany right now. Okay. What do we want to talk about now? Oh, I didn't play a dance party, and Zach left again. I guess I'll have another intermission dance party for lack of Zach.
The lack of enthusiasm.
This is also 3 days ago. So just imagine what they're like now.
Cam's right horse.
Like they actually still, I think, were slightly enjoying this back then. If I find a recent dance party, though, I don't think it would. Even though that didn't lack, or that one lacked energy, I think the dance parties that we have right now would lack even more energy. Dance party. Let me see if I can just find a newer video.
I'm kind of shocked we haven't had wall yellers.
I guess people just like this season too much. They don't feel the need to. I'd like to.
Isn't
At least
that,
that's
like,
what I
kinda
want to think.
crazy that we're like, nah, we're all right. Like,
Let them be. Let's just see what happens.
For once ever, we're like, nah, I'm okay with this. Like, okay.
Okay, I have an updated dance party from like not that long ago. I think this was even today. But they're still doing a little bit. Angela is definitely dancing the most. Probably she gained
Is that
energy from that
T-Core
power
and-
nap.
Is that T-Core in the middle? She's literally not even moving.
T-Core's right here. Yeah.
Yeah, she's literally not moving. Neither is Cam.
Cam's just swaying from side to side. But
Wow.
Angela was really going for it. But that was, I wonder if that was pre or post just laying flat
I
on
was
the
gonna
ground Angela from earlier that we saw.
It's like a nice nap that we saw. So
Okay, when Zach comes back, I want to do the updated draft and also DR count and winner picks. All
Ooh,
that
I
fun
haven't
stuff.
looked at the DR count actually.
Yeah, it's as always. I only have from last Thursday. Ariel is so kind to continue making these DR counts. But Nick, any predictions on who currently in the house has the most DRs? And if you want to give me like, I know I always just guess or have you guess the top, but I think it would be more interesting. Welcome, Zach. We're about to reveal
What?
the DR count for the season now.
Perfect.
I did an intermission
Ooh.
dance party of the Janky World. So I know I have y'all usually pick the top DR county top person in the DR each week. But right now I'm going to ask you both to give me the top 3 of house guests currently in the game who has the most DRs for the season. And if you can get it in the correct order, I will be very impressed.
Angela.
Okay. Go for it. Zach.
You're going 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Angela. Chelsea. And oh, never mind. Angela.
Okay. Hurry. We're
Chelsea.
live, man.
Angela,
And-
Chelsea,
and-
McKenzie.
Okay, Nick. your
Okay,
turn.
I know that's wrong because I
Oh,
looked
you already
at
have the answer?
No. I don't. I looked at the DR count and because the only reason I looked at it was because my friend said, "OMG, Mackenzie cracked into the top 5." So that's the only reason why I know that Mackenzie's not 3. But I don't remember where anyone else was. So I'm gonna say number 1 is Chelsea. Actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna say number 2 is Angela, and then I'm gonna say number 3 is Chemo.
Okay. What's crazy is what if I told you
Neither of us are right.
that one of you is exactly right?
It's
Are you
me,
ready
'cause
for
I go
this?
against-
This is a big moment.
Oh,
The
no.
person who is exactly right with the DR
How could it
count.
be Chemo?
Zach, you had it perfectly correct. It is Angela, Chelsea, and Mackenzie who is top 3.
Wow!
Nick, it pains me to do this.
You slighted your own girl. You literally slighted her. Wow. Take off Mackenzie's stand and put Mackenzie Doubter, because guess what? I had faith in her. Yeah, cam off, mic off. Oh my god. He's never gonna live this down.
I'm embarrassed. I need to leave.
Man, I started sweating when Zach said Mackenzie as the number 3 option. Especially when Zach, you said actually no, I'm gonna change it. But then you ended up getting it exactly right. Wow, what a moment! What a moment here. But Quinn also, just to give Quinn his credit, he did get evicted as the top DR getter when he was evicted from the house. And let me see if there's still any absurd stats. Joseph getting to so Joseph went out with 51 DRs, which was 100 less than Tucker had. Just some stats that are somewhat important, but also like Rubina and Cam still have less than, who is this? Cedric. Yeah.
Cedric had a lot though.
Actually, if I'm going by this, Chemo, T-Core, Leah, Cam, and Rubina all have less than Cedric still. And Cedric's been out of the
Cedric
game
was, like-
for 4 weeks. Cedric's been out of the game for a
Yeah.
month. And he still has more DRs than them.
They were like shoving him down our throats.
They're like, he's got winter vibes, and I saw it too. I picked him.
Young Cedric.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun.
I'm
That was
so dumb. My friends messaged to me, said not Mackenzie in the top 3. Not
top 3. Oh no.
I just
Oh
looked back
my
at it.
gosh.
I will say a little bit more credit to Leah's DR account. She had the most of last night. Obviously, she won the HOH, but here's the account from last night's episode. So a little bit more. I don't think any of this would change the standings based off of what we just saw. Like, I think Chelsea was pretty behind Angela, but I don't think it'll affect Mackenzie's either. Maybe it pushes. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's the DR count, everyone. I hope everyone played along at home. And Zach, should we do draft? I have it pulled up.
Sure.
I don't know why will you allow us to do draft, Zach?
No, actually.
Well, I guess it's the show. I guess we're done.
Yeah. Tune in.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
Tune in next week. Okay. Nope. Let me pull this up. So, man, it's getting rough, and I wish Roxy was here to defend her name. But I lost Joseph 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Roxy lost Quinn. And so as the standings go, Nick, miraculously, you still have 3 of your 4 players, and you are still safe for this week, assuming that no disaster happens in this veto ceremony.
Hell
Roxy is down to Mackenzie and Rubina. I think she will keep those from what it seems. Zach, you've got Chemo and Angela. Angela's safe. Chemo, who knows? Maybe something could happen this week. Oh, no. Chemo's getting the veto used on him. Never mind. You're fine.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So it's really just Roxy and I. I could be without all of my players at the end of this week. That's really unfortunate. I really felt like I had a good cast of characters at the beginning of the season, especially with Cedric and T-Core. And here we are, me 2 weeks into jury, about to have nobody left on my team. It's just unfortunate. And Zach, you've got Chemo and Angela. Who knows how long they'll both last. Nick, I'm afraid you've got the solid group here. You have got the solid group.
Not
2
bad.
of the 3 out of the trio that is really controlling this game, probably going forward, assuming one from the other trio is going to be gone at the end of this week. And then Leah, who's currently holding all of the power. What will she do going forward? Yeah. Okay. Well, this is really sad. And so with that, I guess we're going to move on to our updated winner picks now. With Nick and Zach, it doesn't matter. They can pick anyone they choose, and the universe decides that is fine, and perhaps they'll be right. But whenever I choose a winner pick, they go out the very next week. We'll see if the curse continues as it has for the entire season. So, Zach, who is your winner pick? And who was your last one?
My last one was Leah, and surprise, surprise, I am sticking with Leah. Y'all thought I was crazy. Even Nick thought I was crazy, even though that was the number 1 pick for him.
I did, but
yeah,
I'm here for it. I'm a Leah girl too. Like,
Yeah.
there's no peace between the Leah Mackenzie fans, in my opinion. Just saying.
True. I see upside. This week, even though a lot of us think it wasn't even me, for instance. I don't think I agree with Nick. I don't think that her putting up T-Core and Chelsea was the most optimal move. Like, I feel like the more I think about it, like, I think this week just helped her a whole lot as far as like people trusting her on the other side. So I think it's a lot of upside for her. And I don't see anyone specifically targeting her after this, especially with the fact that she didn't actually win the POV. She won a chance at a POV. So I don't think people are going to see it as her being a comp threat by any means. I think it was just overall a decent week for her. And I still see her as being the dark horse to win. I think that people will not see her coming. And I think that she will have Quinn, and if Cam goes into jury, maybe, or I think she has Quinn rooting for her and advocating for her to win. So, I mean, nothing but positive. I mean, there's a lot of negative that I do hear other people say, like, I'll do Roxy. Oh my gosh, what is she doing? She does not do anything. It was just a coincidence that she won HOH. I don't know.
Roxy would never say that or sound like that.
Yeah, why was she just like a cartoon old lady for a second? Like,
With bad opinions. Like,
well, I don't know, but I think that she's set herself up good though.
I agree, Zach. What is
how many
happening
times are you saying
tonight?
that in this?
I
show?
don't know. I hate it. That's why. But he's making good points because, you know, having the first juror in the jury house being like your number one stand is like it's a really important thing I've learned through the years of watching this show.
Yeah.
So I agree with Zach.
Wow. Can't believe it. I'll remember this moment for forever.
Stop. I'll turn off my cam again. I don't want to.
This is not a good podcast for the Nick and Zach feud here. Zach, not only have you been told that you've been agreed with by Nick, but you also bested Nick in a DR count that had Mackenzie as a main factor in it.
I'm gonna throw up. Like, this is so disgusting.
Zach City. I don't know.
Zach Giesling.
Let's relax.
Nick, who is your winner pick? Oh, are you also picking Leah? Is that what you were going with?
No, I'm not.
Oh, shock.
I'm not. I would love it if Leah won, though. I'm just saying. But I'm picking my girl. I'm picking Mackenzie. And I feel like I've been arguing about this with my friends a lot this week, too. Because they're like, well, who is she going to win next to? And I'm like half the people left, in my opinion. I mean, if she's sitting next to Cam, she's winning. If she's sitting next to someone that's not Cam or Chelsea, they're voting for her to win. The way I see it too, if she makes it to the final two, she has a story. Like, I mean, she was left out of the first vote, similar to Leah. Like, you know, I feel like her and Leah are both like in that dark horse position where they can win competitions when they need to and like do the moves when they need to. I mean, Mackenzie was a big reason why Quinn got out the door last week. I mean, Chelsea was a little hesitant on it, and then Mackenzie won the veto, and she was like, I think we should do this. So I feel like Mackenzie is, like we said earlier, finally up to speed. And I feel like she's finally in a spot now where she has an alliance for the first damn time. And she is also like kind of shielded by them at the same time, because I feel like people are more looking at Cam and Chelsea as opposed to her. And I feel like they're going to regret that. Like Zach said about Leah, I feel like Mackenzie can win those comps. And next thing you know, she's going to be sitting in the end, and people are going to be like, how the hell is she still here? Because similar to Angela, where she has that like cockroach type of story where it's like, how is Mackenzie still in the damn game? I feel like it's the same ish, but Mackenzie's not like confrontational and starting fights and instigating and stuff like that. I believe on here we were calling her like baby Angela or something like a couple weeks ago. And it's like kind of that, like where you're kind of like, how is she still in the damn game? So I think Mackenzie can make the finals with where she stands right now. And I think she has a really nice shot at winning. And I feel like people are just sleeping on her. So I have faith in my girl, no matter what jury speeches or eviction speeches may sway her or not. Zach.
Yes. Oh, we're so back.
It happens.
Don't get too comfortable.
Okay. No, I like both of those picks. I definitely could see that whole Leah Mackenzie post week 1 vote where we have both of them crying in the bathroom being a really like cool like fast forward moment to a finale kind of thing.
So good.
And so I think that would be a very entertaining final two, to be like, oh, the two people that were initially left out of this entire game are the two people that make it to the end. I think would be a really cool season of Big Brother. It's just a matter of like, what do they do leading up to that? Because I felt like there was a long period of time in this game where Leah and Mackenzie have not done the work that other people have done. So it's it probably will be harder to tell that story unless they are able to really solidify something for the rest of this game and really strategize their way to the end.
But when you think about it, the only other person that's done anything in this game, two people that have done anything in this game are Chelsea and Angela. Everyone else, like,
to say Angela did something in the game is also astounding. Like, but she has worked her way. Oh my God. I didn't even really brought up that Angela's lies, and just delusions is what led to Quinn even getting on the block in the first place. Like, Leah saving her last week and then her completely ratting her out and getting one of her closest really her only remaining closest ally on the block and out of the house. Insanity. But also Angela's lies have backfired on her. But it's just like a give and take with her. It's such a wild card. Sorry, I interrupted you, Zach. Go, keep going.
No, you're good. I wanted to hear your thought. The only people that have done anything are Chelsea and Angela. Cam, yeah, that's all he's done. Chemo, yeah, that's all he's done. Rubina, yeah, that's all she's done. Takor, I mean, she's done some things, but I just don't see this jury being very hung-ho about voting for Takor over Mackenzie. If something happened like that. I think that, I mean, obviously Chemo and Rubina would vote for Takor, but I think everyone else would want to vote for Mackenzie. Leah is a lock for her. Cam is a lock for her. Angela would definitely be a lock for her. And
Quinn.
Chelsea,
I think
Quinn
would go for Mackenzie.
Any type of scenario. So let's see. Well, Barrett, we want to hear your pick, and I want to talk through scenarios.
I'm so scared because I don't it's gotten to the point where like I don't know if I should genuinely pick who I want to win out of fear that this might actually be a real curse that I need like a priest or something for. I'm not really sure.
We know who you're going to pick. We know who your brainbot brain wants to pick.
So I'm going to be genuine with my pick on if I had to make just my best guess, because I think that Takor is going to leave this week. So I'm not going to pick Takor. And I don't see Chemo really winning in any scenario as of right now. I don't see Rubina really winning right now for similar reasons that I don't see Chemo winning. Because like Zach said, that's been a lot of silence when it comes to Chemo or Rubina or Cam in terms of gameplay. I still like Chelsea a lot. I am so concerned about Chelsea after this week, though, and how she is playing socially, which has been her main bread and butter of this game, and how she is acting towards Cam and Mackenzie. I don't know. I want to believe in Chelsea, but I think of the trio over there, she will be the first one evicted. So I don't believe in her either. So that leaves me with Angela and Leah. And which would be a fun final two, first off. That would be a really fun final two for me. The Lorraines in the final two. That's their official alliance name, by the way, everybody. That's both of their middle names. And I am going to say the winner of Big Brother 26 for the reasoning of someone else already picking Leah, and I want to be different. And because I said I stand her at the beginning of this podcast, I am saying Angela is going to be the winner of Big Brother 26.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, Angela. I am so sorry. I shouldn't, but I want to be genuine. And I would be doing it because I said Quinn as a very like disingenuous pick a couple weeks ago, and it felt wrong, especially when he got evicted. So I'm gonna go with Angela now. And
so
I
said Barrett. Now she's gonna be gone next week.
Y'all can give me like the Sarah Beth treatment in a week.
We'll have a priest on the pod. We'll have Jerry come on the pod and call you Judas.
Please, that'd be fine.
Long time friend of the pod, Jerry.
long time friend of the pod, Jerry.
Very long.
A very long time. I'm sorry, Skylar. I did not say Rubina. I just don't see any way Rubina wins this game, and I just can't do it anymore. I can't not pick a real winner pick. Can we just say Angela Giesling moving forward? I'd love to see her make moves like suggesting Cam should drop in the HOH comp. Victor, I wish you had been here the whole time. We have been on the full Angela Giesling train, whether serious or not, for a good 2 hours now. Okay,
But-
cool.
We should, but I think. Okay, final two scenarios. We're down to quite a few people left. Who would win against two? So, like, Leah and Cam.
Yeah.
Leah's going to win.
Oh,
Cam and Mackenzie.
Mackenzie wins.
Mackenzie
Yeah.
and Chemo.
Mackenzie.
Decor and Chemo.
T-Core.
Decor.
Yeah. Chemo and Angela.
Angela.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Angela.
Chemo would have Rubina and T-Core, but wouldn't have Leah. Probably wouldn't have Chelsea. Yeah, I could go with Angela there.
Yeah. Angela and Rubina. Angela.
Still, yeah, if we're
Angela.
saying Angela over Chemo, we have to say Angela over Rubina.
Chelsea and
And
Rubina.
Chelsea and Rubina, Chelsea.
Chelsea and Cam.
Chelsea.
Chelsea and Mackenzie.
Probably still Chelsea.
Hmm?
Dare I say.
Ooh, that'd
Who
be
would-
a really good final.
Okay,
two.
well, okay, let's break this one down then. So let's just go in order of the
Quinn.
draft on screen. So Leah is going to cast her vote for,
Mackenzie.
so that's one for Mackenzie. Cam is going to cast his vote for Chelsea, I imagine.
Hmm?
Oh, wait, never mind. This would be the biggest dilemma.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about how big of a vote this would be for Cam. If he voted for Mackenzie over Chelsea.
Imagine he votes for Mackenzie over Chelsea, and then Chelsea wins, and she's pissed because she didn't get his vote still.
Or if Cam is the deciding vote in this theoretical scenario. Let's really explore this. Could Cam theoretically be the deciding vote in a Chelsea-Mackenzie final two scenario?
Whoa. Okay, let's come back to Cam. Let's go to everyone else first.
Okay, so we still have 1-0 for Mackenzie right now to win.
Right.
So
Quinn?
we've got Quinn. Yes. Quinn would vote for Chelsea, I believe. I think he could vote. I don't see him voting for Mackenzie
I feel
over
like
Chelsea.
He could do either or.
He's had I feel like the closeness he's had more with
Actually,
Chelsea.
yeah, probably.
he be-
probably Chelsea?
Would he be bitter? Would he be bitter at Chelsea for backdooring him?
No. I don't think so. I think he's gonna
don't
have
think
that
so
first
either.
juror like a month to really think about the game, and I think he'll be fine with it.
Especially if she's in final two. I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got 1 vote for Mackenzie, 1 vote for Chelsea. Rubina would cast her vote for
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. I would guess
Why is this
Chelsea.
so hard. I guess.
Would she?
Yeah.
I think where Takor goes, maybe that's where.
Takor would vote Chelsea.
Yeah, T-Core would vote Chelsea, which means Rubina would vote Chelsea, and if that's happening, Chemo would vote Chelsea. So that gives
Yeah,
Chelsea the
Chemo's
win.
No, or do you think that Chemo would vote for Mackenzie because she's the reason why he stayed that week
I mean, I don't.
and made jury?
I mean, so was Chelsea.
But
technically.
he's the reason that she's the reason that he stayed, but she also didn't use the veto on him. You know? Oh wait, no, you're talking about the vote. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm talking about the
Um,
vote.
Sorry, his speech. Maybe, but if that's you bring up a tough point. But even if you have Chemo who votes for Mackenzie, I don't think that's going to sway T-Core and Rubina to switch their vote from a Chelsea, which I think they would be more
No.
likely.
Why would
um,
why would Rubina vote for Chelsea though? Besides just Takor.
I don't have any other reason, honestly. I don't have a reason.
I have no idea what Rubina thinks of anyone, honestly.
It's hard to tell. But okay. My best guess would be Chelsea wins in this scenario.
Me
'cause
too. No matter what
Yeah.
Cam does.
Yeah, so that would be 1. So wait, Chelsea would have
It'd be like-
Rubina, 2, 3.
It'd be like or 5-2.
5-2. So the 2 would be Leah and you're saying
Angela.
Chemo in this scenario?
I was gonna say Angela.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
4-3 if Chemo decides to throw her a vote.
I actually do think that Cam could be a deciding vote in this scenario. If we're really going with the Chemo voting for Mackenzie, then in that case, sure. I don't think that would be the case. But yes, theoretically, if you have Chemo and Angela and Leah all going Mackenzie's way, then all it would take is Cam at that point. So yes, there is a scenario where Cam casts the deciding vote in a Chelsea Mackenzie scenario.
And I think he
insane.
votes. I think he votes for Mackenzie though.
This is a
I
great
feel like
time
Chelsea
to
would have a meltdown on live TV.
Yeah. Before we go back to that, I've skipped out. I don't even know if Eddie's still watching.
yeah, your favorite
Skipped
part of
out
the
on
show.
Punched you.
Why move up if you want to be back here?
She
Pick
just
a
said.
spot.
She just said, "Don't put it up
So
against the wall."
choose this or this. What do
I
you want?
said I wanted to sit right there.
You moved your whole bed over here.
I said I wanted to switch back. I said you didn't have to move your bed.
Oh,
You know,
God.
what's happening?
She raised her voice. I had to raise my voice to match.
No, you're just indecisive and it's picking me off.
No, I said, did you? I said I would move my bed right there. For the rain. For the rain. And I was going to move.
That's not even like the biggest moment of this.
I haven't even
Need-
seen this.
There was a whole moment last night where, Cam was cuddling with Mackenzie and Chelsea was like upset by it. And then they got into a whole argument and Chelsea ended up moving like her bed across the entire backyard. And Leah had no idea that Chelsea was being serious while they're just arguing. If I could find that actual clip of her moving the bed though. And I know we've been going for a while now.
I don't think Chelsea is going to have good jury management skills.
We didn't use them when we were sitting over there. I was going to move it once we laid back down. We were sitting on the couch.
Get up.
No need to raise your voice. It's going to be the same thing. Go ahead, make a scene. Go over there then.
Stay with you right here.
You're moving your bed again.
Oh, no. I'll go near the bathroom.
What is Mackenzie feeling during all of this?
Right?
Is my question.
She must feel hella awkward.
Yeah. But this is what I mean. Like even Chelsea, who I think has probably the best strategic game, has a downside, which is being so utterly jealous of Cam constantly.
Yeah.
And if she didn't have this in her way, I feel like she would be in a way different like mindset, and I would feel way more confident to pick her as a winner. But also, in viewing all of this, putting Cam in a situation where he has to cast a vote that will decide a $750,000 grand prize to the two people that he was in a love triangle with has so much weight to it. And
I think one of them doesn't even, or because he doesn't even know that she's in one.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Say that. I don't even know if he knows he's in a love triangle. Like
he may not. He's just chilling. He's chilling still. Go ahead, make a scene. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a really fun scenario. But who knows if we'll ever see that. But we'll keep going. So I don't know definitively what Cam would do in this. I would still lean Chelsea just because they've been aligned for much longer in the game. And that's the only reason I can think right now. And
if he starts making out with Mackenzie.
Yes, okay. So the $750,000 grand prize for Mackenzie in a final two of Mackenzie and Chelsea hinges upon if she makes out with Cam. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. So she needs to make out with Cam.
Okay, cool. Just making sure we're on the same page.
So then,
yes,
Chelsea,
your mama.
Chelsea and Angela.
I think Chelsea comfortably wins that one.
Yeah.
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 Did we say Chelsea and Leah?
I don't think we went over Chelsea and Leah, but I feel like that would be another. I think
that
Leah
might be tough.
So okay, we'll do this again. So Cam gonna vote for
Would vote for
Chelsea, I
Leah.
imagine. Stop. We can't do
Stop.
this every time.
Are
I
you
think
sure?
I'm not sure, and that's what's frustrating me with Cam because he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And so Cam, I'm gonna say Chelsea. I'm just gonna say Chelsea. If I said Chelsea for the Mackenzie vote, I'm gonna say Chelsea for the Leah vote as well.
And then I'm gonna say Leah.
Okay.
Okay, but you're wrong, Zach.
We can't. We'd be here for hours if we all disagree on this. Okay. And okay, so Cam. Let's just come back to Cam. Oh my God. Mackenzie is gonna vote for Leah. I am at. No, she's in a.
No.
Oh no. Probably Chelsea. Probably Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, I think
They're
she'd
in-
vote for Leah.
No,
think
stop saying that.
Chelsea.
Stop saying
She's
that,
been-
Zach.
She's been with Leah since week 1.
But her and Chelsea, they're women of God in the trio together, and
Women of
Yeah.
God.
I don't care.
They're the God warriors of the season, Zach. Get with it.
okay,
They can get on the But First God podcast later. Let's worry about
it's
now.
called God
She-
101, and you know it.
I don't know. Jesus. Is that her book?
No, it's her podcast on Instagram. You would know if you followed her. And Tucker's twin. So Mackenzie is going to vote for. So far, I have 2
Leah.
votes for Chelsea here. Zach has 2 votes for Leah. Rubina is going to vote for. Who? I'm going to say Chelsea in this scenario too.
Isn't she close with Leah though?
Who is anyone close with anyone?
Leah put her on the block. Clearly,
Oh, yeah,
they're not
that's
that
true.
close.
Never mind. Then, yeah, Rubina votes for Chelsea.
She literally put the ring around her bottle. Okay. And Angela. So if Rubina is going to vote for Chelsea, Chemo, who has been nominated by Chelsea, I don't know. I'm just going to say
Would
Leah for
Quinn-
the sake of throwing a vote for Leah.
Would
And then-
Quinn be able
Nominated
to?
by both of
Would
them.
Quinn be able to sway Takor, Chemo, and Rubina?
No. I don't
The
think Quinn has
Visionaries?
that
No.
much power.
I think
The Visionaries?
we're going over Leah and Chelsea, right?
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Takor definitely votes Chelsea.
Yes, T-Core would vote Chelsea.
Yeah,
Quinn would
she
vote
wouldn't-
Leah. So Chelsea has 1. Chelsea has 2, probably. Chelsea has 3.
Mackenzie.
I think Zach does not agree.
Yeah.
No,
and I
she
think
doesn't.
Chelsea has
And I
4.
think she has Cam too. Yeah,
I
Chelsea
think
wins.
that Leah has 4.
Okay. So so you think Leah will have Quinn, Cam, Mackenzie, and who?
Angela.
Angela.
Duh.
Okay. I mean, I think Leah for sure has Quinn, and Leah for sure has Angela. I don't agree
And-
on any of
and-
your other votes.
Cam and Mackenzie, yes.
I don't see it. I don't see Cam voting for anyone but Chelsea. With how long
Not
they've
even
been
after-
aligned.
Not even after what you just saw.
Yes, even at well, what did Leah have to do with that?
It's all about Chelsea. It's back to what I'm saying about
Keep your
Chelsea
microphone
being more
in front of your mouth.
sorry. It's back to what I was saying about what I'm saying about Chelsea, about how Chelsea is more mad at Cam, or is only mad at Cam, not Leah and Mackenzie. Cam is going to be mad at Chelsea.
I don't
Not
think this
any-
is a $750,000 mad though. I think he will realize how far Chelsea or what Chelsea has done for him in this game.
Even if
And-
what happened tonight keeps on continuing.
Depends on what you mean by that. Do they get into a full-on argument where they disavow each other in
they keep on
in
arguing?
janky world? In
Do they keep on arguing in the house too?
maybe. The thing
She
is,
literally she is literally has been questioning his loyalty for 2 to 3 weeks now.
yeah, but like,
Does he know that?
Yeah. Yeah, Chelsea literally said that she does not feel comfortable in any scenario with Leah because she thinks that he's gonna pick Leah over her, and Cam was like, "No, I am not." And then she was like pushing him like over and over. They had a conversation about it.
yeah, but she like baited him into that. I remember that conversation. He never once gave way to saying that Leah was more important than Chelsea was, and I don't think that would be that case in a final two scenario too. Cam is very well aware of who Chelsea is in this game for him, minus these spats that we're having in the backyard, and I think that will carry suit again as long as he doesn't make out with Mackenzie.
What if he makes out with Mackenzie and Leah?
Then God help Twitter.
The strat.
Okay. Well, we'll disagree on this one, Zach. I say Chelsea wins versus Leah. You say Leah wins versus Chelsea. We'll see. Okay. Any other these scenarios? I don't know if there's a more interesting one. T-Core and
Angela
Chelsea,
and Cam?
but T-Core is going to be out this week.
I don't think Cam or Kimo are winning next to anybody unless they're sitting next to each other. I think with the jury being mostly women, a girl is winning.
Is Cam and Kimo are this season's Matt and Jag, minus all the comp wins?
Don't even say that.
I will say, I remember us doing this last year and going over all these scenarios and saying, well, Jag loses because he's already gotten evicted. Like every scenario that, at least that's what I wanted to believe.
Yeah, you also said that. And then it came to be false.
Yeah. Zach, it'd be really funny if everything that came to be false that you said wouldn't is something that I brought up at the beginning of every podcast from then on out, because it seems like you love to bring up when you're right all of the time.
You literally just brought it up yourself.
Yeah, but you didn't have to say the thing that you just said either, though. You didn't have to be like, and remember when you were wrong about that thing
I was
that you,
right.
Yeah, I remember when we went over all those scenarios. I was never wrong on a single one. I remember going over like Felicia and Sari and being like, well, they're not going to make it to final two because Matt and Jag are, and so it's not even worth talking about. I forgot that you said all of that last year. Now I'm angry.
What? I will say that I thought Matt was going to win, but he did not.
Yeah, I do remember us saying, I think specifically Matt and Jag,
that.
we said Matt was going to win.
I do remember that.
Could we have predicted such a fumbling of a final two speech in answers, though? No, we could not have.
And bitterness towards Matt.
And bitterness and Matt just getting on his
So
Andrew
random.
Tate shit. Whatever. Okay. One more scenario if we have another good scenario. Otherwise, we're done with this.
I'm trying to think.
No.
Leah and Angela?
Leah and Angela? Okay, let's go through it. Cam is going to vote for
Leah.
Leah. Chelsea is going to vote for
Leah.
Really?
I think so.
You don't think that she's going to be like, I've been wanting to
Leah
get this
wins.
girl. I want to get this girl out, Angela, for so long. And she literally makes it farther than she does. She's not going to give props to that.
Someone may give props. I think like I think the one person who would give props to Angela is Leah, and she's in the final two scenario with Leah. It's not going to help you much. But no, like Nick just said, I think Leah wins pretty handedly here.
Yeah, 7-0.
I would like to say otherwise, but I just don't see Angela being able to sway.
So who does Angela?
Unless, I mean, like Angela is one of the most confusing Big Brother players of all time. And so like to say that anyone could fully analyze her game or like say that anything she did was objectively bad or wrong when it has worked out for her in her delusions and her character and her just ability to be a wild card at any time and also being taken off the block 3 separate times. And I think she could use all of that and say that it was strategy to a degree. We know that it's really not because she's wrong on a lot of things. And she is a person that will say anything and see if it sticks. And sometimes it sticks for the wrong reasons. And if you can convey that to a jury, maybe that'll go somewhere. But
So
against
who
Leah,
does-
it's going to be hard.
So who does Angela win against?
I think Angela could win against
Against the trio, the Chemo Rabina remnants of that
That's-
trio.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think Chemo and Rubina will probably have a hard time explaining their game.
Yeah.
And Angela
Well,
will have an easy
Takor-
time explaining her game.
Well, Takor was
If
able
she
to come with
explains her
me,
game.
come and tell me which way to vote, and I was able to follow Takor and see what read she had on the house. And Takor was able to tell me all these things, and Takor was also the one who wanted to make this a lot. And Takor, yeah,
Yeah,
Zakor thought it would be such a great idea to flip on Cedric, and it was just like so great of an idea that I just had to do
Yeah.
it too.
And then I think a big thing with Angela is a lot of this hinges upon her really leaning into the chaos of her game as opposed to her making up a game. Kind of like Jag did last year, which is maybe a bad example since he won. But Jag went out there
I
his
have
final
all your bloods on
Exactly.
my hand.
If Angela goes up there and does a Jag and just lies throughout her entire final 2 speech against like a Chemo or Rubina, who are like very genuine in how they describe their game and their social ability and like their ability to be liked in the game as opposed to Angela, maybe that'll do something. But then again, we have had one speech this year that swayed people. Might a final 2 speech actually sway voters this year in the jury, or what?
Maybe.
I think she wins against Cam too.
I don't
She
even want to
went
think
against-
about that final 2 scenario.
She has Leah, Quinn.
I think she beats Cam too. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, I don't think a guy's winning.
I'm
really
not lying.
don't.
I'm having such a tough time understanding who might win this game in general between any of these scenarios because 1, we were way off last year, and 2, I think this cast is so strange in the way that they played this game that it makes it a bit harder to really understand how they're going to view each other's game in 30 days. And we lost our masterminds. We lost Joseph. We lost our front runner, Kenny.
You mean Benny?
And Benny. We lost the twin Benny.
And we lost Matt. You know, ever since Matt went home, that's the whole reason why Mackenzie has been struggling so much.
Yeah, I've barely watched. I've been disheveled watching this show ever since Matt left.
Matt's the reason why Mackenzie has been playing from the bottom.
I mean, true.
It's fact.
Man, we've got a crazy week ahead, everybody. And for those who have stuck through for 2.5 hours on this podcast, thank you so much. I think the past 30 minutes has just been us trying to decide who's going to win. But Zach, I would love to know what we've got in store for the rest of the week and what we've got coming up in this game, what we should be excited for. And I feel like you're the best person to maybe preview some of that if you're up for it.
Sure. Today's Monday, so we have a Wednesday and a Thursday episode. When are we going to do a double eviction? I feel like we should have had one by now.
I know. I actually was just thinking about this. So we're on week 9 right now.
Oh, 9, yeah.
Yeah, so we're on week 9 and the finale is week 13.
Okay.
So we're due for
And
at least one double.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have one this coming up live eviction because they're
I think
outside.
Next week. I think next week is our double.
I think so as well. Which I mean, they could be holding out for like a double to the. How many do we have right now left? 9, 8,
8, which would bring us to final 5 if there is. one
okay.
next
And
week.
did we do that last year to final 5? I want to say we did.
We definitely did it in 24. I'm pretty
That
sure.
may be what I'm thinking of then.
Well, 25, we had 2, but one of them was fake.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it was a great double.
Oh yeah, it was the same time last year because it was Blue in America that went out.
Womp womp for one of them.
What a great double.
Excuse me.
A player this good? They had to get me out of
They
it.
had to get me out eventually. Yeah.
So awkward.
Okay.
Joseph said that too.
Zach, I'm gonna give you the long version again. Okay.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure you're good with that. And I had to pull it up. I should really remember to actually download this next time. Can I get rid of it and you still hear it? Can you hear this?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Ready, Zach? Give us a preview for next week.
All right. come back Wednesday and find out who wins the veto in this janky week. And with that, we also have another veto that is possibly being introduced to shake up the game. Who will be taken off of the block if it's used? And will the second veto be used to spice things up even more? And then on Thursday, we're back outside of the Big Brother house to figure out who's going to join Quinn and the jury and say hi to Julie, not Jerry O'Connell. All that and more. And then on Sunday, we'll be back to figure out who will get power after this wild Dire Fest week. And then Monday, we'll be back here live to cover it all. So come and stay with us on our reality.
All right.
Wow.
I can't wait to watch.
Full week.
Wow, you went. There is. I have no questions anymore. I think you covered it all. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that.
No spoilers.
I don't know. We might have to spoil a little bit. Nick, anything else we should talk about? And I'm going to quickly also look through my Twitters to make sure I'm not forgetting like a clip I thought was really funny that I will regret not playing.
Yeah, I'm looking too. I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't talk about Leah's crush on Quinn. That was a segment with the Marry Evict Kiss game that they played. That was a big thing on Thursday night's episode, and I'm happy to not talk about it. I just wanted to mention that it was a thing, and I realized that it was a thing, and I'm going to say because Quinn was evicted, I'm not going to bring it up again. And
It was a pity. It was a pity.
Oh, Zach, real quick, you were gone when I played this. I didn't know if you've seen this and could explain what this is.
Oh, my name's Tony Shay. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing? How you been? Can you believe where we are and this so special?
Oh, shit. Where did you almost go?
Anything?
It was two queens bonding together.
Okay. Maybe that's all it needs to be. All right. With that, I will await Islands in the Stream to really kick in here. Quite a marathon that we just pulled. And there's only 3 of us. Didn't even have Roxy here.
Off of janky duty.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, Roxy is actually coordinating Janky World right now. But she'll be back. She'll be back. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us or watching us for the past 2.5 hours. It was a lot of fun. Thank you all for being in the chat. If you showed up to the chat, always great to have you here. Please keep coming back as we keep covering this crazy good season of Big Brother, one that we have needed for quite a while now. And I'm excited to keep covering it. Excited to go over all the future winner scenarios that can play out as we get closer to the season finale of this game. In the meantime, if you want to keep up with all of us on X, I am at Spicy Barrett, Nick is at The Nick City, Zach is at The Zach Perez, and you can also check those links in the description below, as well as the link to our Discord. Please join our Discord if you want to keep up with when we're going live, or just to express your opinions about Big Brother 26 in general. All of that you can find there as well. And furthermore, if you want to subscribe to the channel, like this video, that helps us out a ton. Help us bring new people here. So if you want to do that, or go listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you want to not watch us live or didn't catch us live and need a more convenient way to do so. Jen, we love your janky ass. Thank you for being here, Jen, as always, and everyone that was here in the chat. Please join us next week as we talk about the next eviction and preview the next week of Big Brother. Yeah, that's all I got. Cool. Zach, say the thing that you always say so we can get out of here.
Love one another. Stay with us. What, Nick? Perception is reality. Our reality.
You just really geared up for it, I think was the thing.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
It's called dramatic effect.
Oh, excuse me.